Yo, how we doing? Now, I'm so nervous that my mic will not be working. So check 1, 2, 3. How we sounding, my friends? Are we there? Are we back there? Who's in here today? I think it's working. I hope to God it's working. Because we got a whole last show to get through today, and there are so many videos we are going to be covering in this live show, talking about everything Star Wars Celebration 2015. How we're doing? Ready to board this time machine? Let's go back 2015, and I'm right there with you, Dennis, because so much happened in this year for Star Wars. Not to point out the obvious, but of course the release of The Force Awakens. But just around that, there was so many things happening. Let's get that music on to get the vibe going. I sound good? Awesome. Sounds good. A few things. We got a new light. You might have noticed the past few streams it's been particularly dark in the room, but we have a brand new light here. I feel like I'm staring into the sun. It's so good. 2015 is that like that's like 20 years ago. It does feel about 20 years ago. I do have to agree with that 100%. Hey JS, how you doing? I hope your procedure was all right, my friend. I hope you're doing okay. Good to see you in here. But Skywalker's Dennis, I love everyone. JS, thank you so much for joining in the show. Shout out for those watching along. We're going to be jumping straight into it. Like, if you haven't been in one of these shows prior, essentially is what we jump into, going back, looking back at everything about the Star Wars celebrations that have been in the past. This is, of course, the big, long road of excitement leading up to Star Wars Celebration this year, 2025 in Japan, which I will be at. So we're going to get our hype up by watching everything that has transpired every previous celebration. The past 2 weeks we've done, what have we done? Star Wars Celebration, I think it was 2012, Star Wars Celebration 2014, and then today we're jumping into Star Wars Celebration Anaheim 2015. It's going to be really exciting. Hey Nick, how you doing? Austin in the chat. Nolan's here. Party like us 2015. Where were you in 2015 actually? 10 years ago, I was in high school. I was in, what grade was I in? Like year 9. Star Wars Celebration about to come out. Star Wars Force Awakens about to come out. What else was it doing? I can't remember, to be honest. What is it? I was like 15. Probably getting pimples. I don't know. I can't remember 2015. But it was a good year. It's a good year for Star Wars. So let's get into it. We're going to jump straight in because, like I said at the top, there are so many videos from today. So let's get the music down. Let's get the videos lined up and get into everything of Star Wars Celebration 2015. Now, these streams keep getting striked for the use of copyright music because all these promo videos utilize like the theme songs. So I'll try and stop it when I can. Favorite Star Wars movie? Probably Phantom Menace. Hey, and 2015 was a great year for Star Wars Celebration. Star Wars Celebration 2015 was amazing. Was it? Were you there, Kenneth? Were you there? Actually, shout out to anyone who was there. Star Raptor might have been there. Hey, Star Raptor, how you doing, my friend? I'll see you in Japan in like 2 months. I'll see you there. I'm so glad you're popping in. We're doing a look back, Star Raptor. Every week we're looking back to a Star Wars Celebration and watching all the videos from it. So it's a good time. It's a good time. So let's start with this little video. Again, I feel like immediate copyright strike. Probably going to just be playing Star Wars music here, but that's okay. Let's start off. Like, look at all these videos on the side here. It is stacked. The past few, like the older celebrations have like such few videos. This playlist has 87 videos. Some of them, granted, will probably skip a little bit, but for the most part, we'll watch each one of these. So let's get that volume down and jump into it.
People that are in Star Wars.
To bring you everything.
It's absolutely overwhelming how many people we have standing around the campus.
It's a good time to be a Star Wars
We're bringing
fan.
it to you live each and every day.
Really
So
happening.
Stay tuned. Star Wars Celebration 2015 starts right now.
Chewie, we're home.
Welcome to Star Wars Celebration.
What a big moment. Wow.
I swear we just broke the internet. I'm reading everyone's reactions and I can't even tell you how many exclamation points.
I would just be happy with that trailer as the movie.
The moment when I saw BB-8 roll out on stage.
And then the Millennium Falcon comes on and I'm like, yeah.
J.J. Abrams!
You cannot understand what it feels like to get out there on that stage and to be met with that kind of passion. And it really is a testament to what George Lucas created.
The president of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy.
There is so much more where that
An
came
iconic
from.
look for Kathy.
I'm really excited.
This is what we grew up on our whole lives.
Somebody else was excited about the trailer. Disney chairman and CEO Bob Iger.
Yeah.
I've seen it now probably about 50 times.
We're going to be analyzing that trailer frame by frame.
This isn't just Darth Vader's mask. This is the skull of Darth Vader.
Battlefront's
Crazy.
coming quickly.
Oh, Battlefront. The release of Battlefront. Oh.
Hi, how are you? Were you cool with his song? If you were going to take Harrison Ford out for dinner, where would you take him?
To Chipotle's.
All weekend, we are going to be taking you live to the panels that are going on here at Star Wars Celebration, and we caught up with him backstage afterwards.
What an amazing time. It's goosebump inducing.
We also have so many more guests. Thanks for coming, Trey.
Anytime to play, it's my pleasure.
Everybody loves to be loved, especially the Ewoks.
Sorry, I'm a little bit starstruck.
Well, I'm starstruck talking to you.
If you really want me to sing, I will.
I am here with Deep Roy.
This year feels like Star Wars has come home.
Peter Mayhew, thank you so much for stopping by.
Unreal.
I needed a drink anyway.
The Force Awakens teaser was watched over 88 million times.
The production designers on The Force Awakens.
You made some real pretty movies.
We have a lot of fun at work.
The joy that it brings to people, it's energizing and fantastic.
The Lucasfilm Story Group.
There are a lot of really great creators who have come aboard.
We just don't know where
Carrie
the story
Beck.
can go.
That puts everybody on the same playing field.
Ashley Eckstein's joining us for a fashion show.
And last, we have
I
Savannah.
have a very important question to ask. I was wondering if you would marry
This
me.
is a match made in Star Wars heaven.
We had a wedding at Rancho Obi-Wan. Steve Sansweet is also ordained to marry people.
I am here on the
That's
red carpet of
amazing.
the season 2 premiere of Star Wars Rebels.
Oh,
What do you
yes,
expect from these
season
characters
2.
in season 2.
The continued development, maturation, having to
Mhm.
face some of their darkest
At
fears.
1344 says the new Star Wars Rebels trailer, OMG. Now I can say that Ahsoka Tano lives.
The Grand Moff is enjoying Celebration.
What's it like to see the animated characters brought to life by fans?
It's the best thing.
The world's biggest Star Wars collector.
Star Wars oddities.
I want a BB-8.
Yes! The most amazing things on the show floor.
These are new Black Series figures.
Hot Wheels.
Palmer,
You guys brought a cantina with you.
you're using the Force.
What is the cast and crew of Smuggler's Bounty.
So another chapter in Han Solo's life, purely in audio.
If you've seen really cool aliens back here, they're ours.
I just want to see it.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you. We picked this lucky guy out of the crowd. We're going to dress you up. That was fast.
We are going to send Chloe out onto the floor now.
Hi, Darth Maul Stormtrooper.
Darth Maul's the bomb.
You were Chris Darthtree.
I'm about to go reprise my role here.
Tell me a little bit about the R2 builders.
The Belgian builders build these really cool sets.
The 501st Legion Troop Athlons. Moving along, moving along.
We don't serve their kind here.
This means so much to so many people, and I get to be a part of that.
You're going to show us what some of your characters look like as you draw them.
This is amazing. Star Wars origami.
They create
This is
figures.
such a good
Whoa, have
overview, man.
tattoo artists.
I am about to get my first Star Wars tattoo.
What are we seeing now?
Look at this.
Oh my God, it's the running
Hey.
of the Royal Huts.
The Ace of Cakes, Duff Goldman.
We're going to make a snack for Jabba.
Tastes just like chicken.
We also have so many more guests.
Darren Hayes.
Daniel Hashimoto and his son, action movie kid,
Star Wars Weekend.
Star Wars Commander,
Star Wars Insider.
UNICEF Ventures.
Johan from Lincoln Park.
Marvel Comics.
Say, may the force be with you in Chinese.
I've been doing this for 35 years, and this is the most exciting by far.
We want to thank everybody who joined us. We want to thank our crew. We'll see you on
May the force be with
StarWars.com.
you.
Crazy.
May the force be with us all.
Unreal. Unreal. I mean, just as a highlight reel, that was like overwhelming. The energy is crazy. Yeah, Lincoln Park was there. What was happening in 2015? Holy wow. Absolutely. You remember watching the live streams? That's so cool. This is a part of the whole slew of Star Wars celebrations I'm looking back on. Every week we're doing one. We've done it for the past 2 weeks. We did Celebration Europe and Celebration Orlando. And we're doing every single celebration next week. We're looking at Celebration Chicago, I want to say. I can't remember. But this is just a part of the shows. Yeah, it's so random that Lincoln Park was there. But crazy. But like if you've been here for the previous live shows, what a step up of just like the production value of covering the event is this. This is absolutely crazy. That was the first video. I'm actually shockingly going to skip watching the teaser trailers But let's jump straight into. Oh, like there's so many. Like this one goes for 29 minutes. The Force Awakens teaser breakdown, which is very interesting. Oh, don't get copyrighted.
So that by having the low horizon really opens up the space. It's an unbelievably beautiful shot. And
there's a lot of new stuff, and this is a lot of old friends and a lot of stuff that hits us in a, you know.
Greta from Slash Film and Brian Young from Big Shiny Robot. Guys, thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks for having us.
Very short trailer, a lot going on.
Yeah, I think we're going to have we can really spend a lot of time going piece by piece through this thing and really tearing it to pieces and finding out all the secrets that JJ has hidden inside this trailer, I think.
But I think notably, the first trailer was a lot of new stuff, and this is a lot of old friends and a lot of stuff that hits us in a, you know, soft spot.
Being presented in a lot of new contexts, which I think is really, really awesome.
Right.
So I'm going to leave you guys to do this, and we appreciate you coming by.
So we're gonna start here, and I would like to point out, I think the music originally is from the. They've used this music in the trailer for the first Phantom Menace trailer, and the shot that we open with is the same as I think the second shot in that trailer, but turned now on its ear. So if we can start to play this.
This music hasn't been re-recorded either. This is the masters.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's a black, silver Lucasfilm logo, which was surprised to see.
Yeah. And that desert planet is not Tatooine.
Jakku.
Yes.
Jakku. For those who are
so crazy to hear.
Imperial Star Destroyer.
That is a downed X-wing in the middle there.
It is.
So everybody was distracted by the Star Destroyer, but we missed the X-wing.
Wow.
Yeah,
I never even caught
as the opening shot of this teaser trailer, this I think is probably one of the best shots that I have seen in a Star Wars movie in decades. I mean, this is the kind of thing. This is so iconic. That pan to the right, the reveal of the Star Destroyer, it is so beautiful. The low horizon, JJ on stage talking about John Ford. John Ford and Akira Kurosawa understood that by having the low horizon really opens up the space. It's an unbelievably beautiful shot, and that reveal of the Star Destroyer is just, you can hear everybody in the room gasp as soon as it happened.
We were talking about it earlier. I mean, you mentioned how this trailer is very much playing to those of us who grew up with the original trilogy, and this is the perfect bridge scene because you have the new, obviously somebody's scrolling across there, and the new thing in the old. This is the results of the original trilogy.
You know what? It reminds me of, like, there's so many fantastic shots from the video games and the concept art from the video games. It reminds me of the best of that. And we should mention that the teaser trailer opened with the shot of John Boyega on this desert planet. And I think that...
Hey, Cole, how you doing? Love from Scotland. Had a meeting Ian McDermott in my home city on Sunday. I'm buzzing.
The Star Destroyer also
bloody
seems
amazing.
reminiscent of
have the best
that
time.
moment in all of the Force
The Emperor,
Unleashed
big hug
material where you've got
so excited,
Starkiller
Cole.
bringing down the Star Destroyer. So let's finish this shot and see if there's anything else we want to talk about.
So is that Rey on her little speeder? Is that what we're seeing here?
It looks like it.
Looks like it, yeah.
I mean, what an unbelievable image! I mean, that has to be your new desktop, right? That's like your background now, right?
Yeah.
It's unreal.
So then we get the voice of Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, repeating dialogue from Return of the Jedi, and
This is a iconic.
This is an homage to Sloth from Goonies, right?
Yes.
Is what that is.
It's the sloth Darth Vader.
When's the last time we saw the Darth Vader helmet? That was on Dagobah?
The last time we saw the Darth Vader helmet,
Endor,
it was on
Endor. Sorry,
at the funeral pyre.
They are burning the helmet on Endor. Yeah.
Endor.
So whoever picked this up picked it up on Endor. So obviously the Ewoks are the main villain of the new trilogy.
Yeah, they're all the guys and all the stormtroopers.
This is actually a draw.
There's two Ewoks. There's two Ewoks inside each stormtrooper outfit, standing on each other's shoulders.
Hey, Brady, how
So
you
what
doing?
do you think this means that someone is digging up Darth Vader's mask?
Well, if someone went to that side of the universe and to get that, it must be important.
Yeah.
And I would think that they would have evil intentions.
I mean,
or it just could be an archivist, Peter. It could be just a museum. This, as Harrison Ford has said elsewhere, this belongs in a museum.
or it could be a Star Wars fan.
Just a really big fan.
You know, kind of like the Evil Dead fans that go to the cabin and take a little piece of it. They wanted a little piece of Darth Vader.
It's interesting. You notice the lighting is very reminiscent of the lighting from the throne room battle in Return of the Jedi, with the light source coming from the same direction and the same sort of color.
Well, I love the way that this mask has been treated. It looks like a skull. There's teeth. There's the open nose. There's the eye sockets. This is a skull. This isn't just Darth Vader's mask. This is the skull of Darth Vader. This is his worldly remains. I love that image.
And could this be saying that the Sith and Darth Vader, this is the Empire rising up from literal ashes?
That would be poetic.
Yeah. So we're looking for the next shot here.
I hope
We
to
should
see the
mention
Mark
Mrs.
Hamill
Hamill
panel, to
talking
be honest.
over.
Everyone says it's great.
So we're assuming
Yeah, crazy.
He's at a campfire.
Wait,
This is a
wait,
campfire.
before this image, Hamill says, "My father has the Force," or he doesn't say in past tense.
It's hard to say because he's repeating dialogue from the original
Jedi,
trilogy,
yeah.
so I'm not sure what's exactly happening. What's really intriguing about this dialogue is that he's talking to somebody about how the Force is strong in his family and saying that this person has the Force as well.
Yeah.
So clearly we're talking to somebody who is of the Skywalker lineage at this point. That seems pretty
possibly.
That seems pretty obvious because why else talk about the family history of the Force? And also you have it, unless I'm letting you know.
Yeah, so I mean, and I don't know if we're gonna get much of Luke having kids in this, but you know, he could also be talking to
It
Leia's
could be
kids.
Kenobi child too. You never know.
It could be sort of hanging out in the cantina, meeting ladies, you know, not you know. What the heck?
The Jedi order's over. He doesn't have to.
Exactly, he doesn't have any kind of vows anymore.
Or even Han Leia.
It could be.
That seems to make a
It
lot
could
of
be
sense.
Rey, but Rey has the same visual, distinctive characteristics of the Naberi family, and there are still Padme's siblings are all still roaming the galaxy.
Oh,
so
was that a
maybe this
theory
is
at one
also
point?
a cousin
Rey was
of-
related to Padme.
This shot specifically, it could be Mustafar.
I'm pretty sure that's a campfire. Those embers really look like a campfire to me. The rest of this background, I don't know if it's exactly Mustafar to me. I think this is probably the stuff that we have seen of where they were shooting in the UK, I suspect.
Yeah.
Interesting to
Remember
note
during
that,
middle
that
school,
this could
I
be
watched this trailer
Luke
when I should have
Skywalker.
paid
There's nothing
attention.
that
I
says
love
it's
that
Luke
trailer.
Skywalker. He's got the metal hand,
right?
But it's interesting to know in the last trailer, Andy Serkis's dialogue was that something's awakened with both the dark side and the light. He's in his black cloak with white clothing on.
I mean, the interesting thing is that the reason why we jumped to obviously thinking it's Luke is the hand, but also sort of the way that he touches R2. It's a friendly gesture. This doesn't seem threatening. This doesn't seem like a villain. And the fact that he's wearing white underneath the black cloak is interesting. I mean, something that Luke was not. Doing at the end of the original trilogy, but obviously reminiscent of his early Tatooine outfits.
What is it? I mean, how did you feel as we were all sitting in that panel, hearing Mark Hamill's voice as Luke Skywalker again? How did that make you all feel?
Well, I personally,
Why do I keep getting muted?
For just a
We're
split
back now.
second, I thought they were just repeating, laying over the dialogue from the original trilogy. But then when it becomes apparent it's not, like you get geek butterflies for sure.
It sounds darker. It doesn't sound like the Luke we remember at first.
He's got the weight of age on him a little bit, and so the question is it darker? Is it wiser? Is it sadder? It's going to be really interesting to see.
So I like that we're still completely so in the dark about it too, and that we don't know what Luke is up to yet.
Now that we've got a closer look at that hand, it's definitely not the
hey,
hand
Cal.
we remember.
You can hear me now?
him having
Okay,
in
awesome. Thank
Empire
you.
Jedi. It's
I
much
don't know
more
what happened
reminiscent of Anakin Skywalker's hand in the prequels.
It's an eye hand.
But it's been
Apple came out with
it's been 30 years, so there might be some
Definitely
upgrades.
There's been, I mean, like his contract ended. He was able to upgrade for a small fee.
Yes.
But it's telling though that there is not the human skin on it as he had before, and maybe that was just a budget thing, perhaps in Empire
This
and
is
Jedi.
indeed Luke. Yeah.
Yeah, if it is, but it is the correct hand.
Hey, maybe that's 3PO under there. You don't know.
he would have gotten
What
some
a reveal
upgrades.
that would be. Darth 3PO.
So
Yeah, you see
closer.
more of the embers there that Devin was talking
They're
about.
definitely embers.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain this is a campfire. That's kind of a neat idea of Luke sitting by a campfire with R2. It's kind of a neat scene. I kind of would like that.
Well, and Luke's arc in A New Hope was very much eschewing technology and connecting with nature and himself and the living force, as it were, and that would make sense. And then here we have a lightsaber being passed.
The person
That is a
passing that
small
lightsaber is not a human. That's the thing I noticed at first, which makes me think it is either Max von Sydow's character or Lupa's character.
So
both of those are CG.
This looks a lot like Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber.
Yeah.
It does.
Which is the one that Luke got in Star Wars.
And lost in Empire.
Right.
Which presumably plummeted to the surface of Cloud City. So let's look at that again, because I think you're right. That hand is weird.
Yeah. Don't judge. You made somebody feel really bad if that's actually just.
Yeah, it seems almost definitely like an alien, and there's some bracelets on it.
Yeah.
And we know Andy Serkis is in the movie, but he's also acting, or he's also has his Imaginarium doing some performance capture, and I'm assuming that's a performance capture alien of some kind.
It looks fantastic. Now,
It's interesting to hear them think that was
Well,
an
did we
Andy
see-
Serkis
was
character.
that BB-8
That's
over
mad to
there?
say.
Did I see something?
let's go back and take a
I'm
look.
sorry, I hadn't noticed it before. No.
No, it's a different droid.
No,
maybe?
but it does look like a feminine hand grabbing the lightsaber.
That is definitely at least somebody with long fingernails, at the very least.
Was that a ring on the finger too?
That is a ring.
Wow, the details that these guys are picking up is cool.
In the trailer, though, he is discussing that his sister is strong in the Force over this shot, and this could
Do you
be.
think that could be Leia?
It could be.
Oh, that could be Leia. This could be perhaps somebody returning her father's lightsaber to her on whatever the homeworld of the new Republic or Imperium is.
I think that raises a lot of interesting questions. In that one of the most exciting things about the prequels, watching the original trilogy afterward, is the questions that Luke and Leia would have about their family lineage.
Right.
And this could be them exploring that. Not that we have any idea for sure.
You have that power too.
And then we have some
Lots of
black
darkness.
space. This Christmas.
So let's just say this life day. Yeah, we'll let it go.
And then we've got another angle on the X-Wings.
I
which
love
is
how the
awesome.
X-Wings bring up the water, like almost like when jets go over.
It's awesome, and I also like Poe Dameron's face. He seems to be having a pretty good time flying that. I like that. I like that little character. He's
It evokes.
loving it.
It evokes the Dam Busters, which is the movie that inspired much of the Trench Run.
Yeah.
And in that movie, they were literally flying over water, and they changed it to the trench, and now we've got that with the X-Wings. And then particularly...
That was very fast.
Wait, that was a really...
But it shows he can wield it and not stab himself with the guard.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to come out and say I like the guard. I think it's really cool looking.
Yeah,
my thing with Star Wars is that 80% of the time I like it when it's cool looking, and I'm less worried about how it works. I think that's part of the beauty of Star Wars is that it isn't about how it
I
works,
agree
it's
with
about how awesome it is, and I think that is an awesome looking lightsaber. And there are people walking around with sort of like homemade versions of that, and it looks really neat. It looks really cool.
Well, I like the medieval look to it.
Yeah,
It looks
it's
like a
totally-
broadsword.
yeah,
It kind of brings it back.
I love the unevenness of the blades that are coming out the side. It almost seems like handmade, or it's like shaped together.
It's either ancient or someone putting together a lightsaber who doesn't know how to put together
It's
a
a little
lightsaber.
rugged. Yeah, it's neat. It just says so much. It's so cool.
So now we have
You see the TIE fighters are the ones causing the explosions behind him.
which is interesting because Boyega did confirm that he's a stormtrooper.
Did he? He seemed so afraid to even confirm
He,
that much.
he nodded when JJ wasn't looking. So
And you can see BB-8 running in the background there.
I also want to say that's a really cool jacket. Is that one of the things that we've all learned about the original Star Wars is that Luke ends up with a cool jacket at the end, and I'm glad there's a cool jacket in this movie as well. I like that jacket a lot.
And then we have Daisy Ridley's Rey here with a staff of some sort running.
We
right
saw in the
toward us.
first teaser the
Yeah,
staff
that's
is
the
on
thing
the
that's
side
on
of her
the
bike,
speeder, yeah.
and it disappears in one shot, which we don't know why. But
And then what is this over here in the bottom left? Like, who is that?
That's
Darth Maul.
No, I think that's a Sasquatch. I think they got Bigfoot. They got
That
Bigfoot
is
in
interesting.
Is it
What is
Darth
going on?
And then
Oh,
we've
that's
got
so
we've
good.
got some gun emplacements back here.
Innocent bystander. It's just collateral damage.
And here, these are these shield generators.
They're reminiscent of
Yeah,
shield
from
generators
Hoth,
from Hoth. And then I can't even tell with that some sort of market
Junk.
behind a fence. It's junk.
It's junk.
Well, she's a scavenger, so it makes sense that it would in fact literally be junk.
This is our first look at Kylo Ren in his mask.
That's a really cool mask.
So good.
In
So
great
good.
Star Wars tradition, it seems really indicative of an Eastern influence.
Mm-hmm.
You can see this as being very medieval Japanese in a lot of ways, and it's really neat. And he's doing that classic Force maneuver at the camera. I mean, this is
which shows he has the Force powers.
Right. I mean, this is iconic.
Who's that in the background?
These are two of the new stormtroopers, and it looks like there's more in the background
And
as
there's
well.
fire.
That's a shuttle.
Yeah. Well, and there's a lot of fire. A lot of the art that came out came out today was a lot of flamethrowers.
So that's a whole bunch of bystanders, actually.
But they're behind the stormtroopers.
Yeah, these are all. Are these
They almost
bystanders or the Imperial? I can't quite tell if that's an Imperial hat or not. They're standing between the stormtroopers and the shuttlecraft. So do they come off the
Crazy,
shuttlecraft?
man.
Is that a shuttle or
Hey,
is that
DB.
like another moisture?
Hey,
That-
Zach.
I think it's a shuttlecraft. I think.
Perhaps they're
Come on,
refugees. They're getting out.
Maybe they're getting out. Yeah.
We're
Is it
watching a
a
video of
shuttlecraft with
people
wings up?
dissecting
It looks like a
the
shuttlecraft.
first Force
I
Awakens
could see
trailer.
This is just so cool. I am geeking out.
Look at the lens flare. He got a little lens flare.
Yeah.
There
You
go.
betcha,
There we go.
CG.
Here we go. We got him
How you doing?
And they were unobtrusive.
so far.
Oh, so
That's a super. That's a super cool shot. Also, I feel like this is really vital. This is a new tattoo.
Yes.
This new symbol. This is a new tattoo for
I
everybody.
can guarantee you it's already been gotten on the floor. Somebody's got it.
I love that. You haven't missed too much, CG. We're just listening to like I said, to these guys.
going on in this.
These guys dissect the trailer.
World War II, Triumph of the Will.
Yeah, very much.
It looks like many of the posters from World War II, the propaganda kind of.
Can you share your screenplay in your server?
Yeah,
Like they have big old grins on their
like
faces.
Oh, in my
It's
Discord?
nice. I think they're
Like,
Look at
can
that
you play
TIE
games
fighter,
in
though,
Discord?
the
really cool
background.
TIE fighter.
Just look at the world they're on too. It's a snow
Yeah, it
planet.
depends.
You got
It's
these
not
very-
just a snow planet. It's
You
like
wanna play?
it's like a mountainous snow
Yeah,
planet,
yeah.
which is different from Hoth, which is
Yeah,
very
yeah.
much just a snow drifts. This is sort of looks like some kind of Alps.
It's so
mountain,
interesting hearing people's
scenario.
theories
in
of like
the middle center
each
of
of
the
these
column of
shots
stormtroopers, there's a different
in
sort
the
of
trailer,
stormtrooper
like
that
people
looks a
not
little bit
knowing that
reminiscent
Kylo
of the
Ren is Ben
snowtroopers.
Solo, Han
Yeah,
Solo's
it's like
kid.
with the skirt.
So
and he's
cool.
got the backpack, so that might be one of the flamethrower guys.
Why did they have skirts? What was the snow function of
Kept
the
them
It
warm.
was to pee. It was to
Kept
pee.
them
Yeah,
warm.
sure.
It was to
Okay.
pee.
And these TIE fighters, like Peter pointed out, they are different. They're colored differently. They have they're a lot different than
I
we've
wonder
seen
if they
before.
have shields.
The paneling
New
is even
toys.
different.
Yeah.
The paneling is cool.
And there's gun emplacements everywhere. And I want to know who this person
Yeah,
up on the
who is that?
balcony
Is that Kylo Ren or is that
Could that be Gwendolyn Christie? I mean, this
Could
is a
be.
tall,
Could be.
thin figure.
with
Could that be?
some sort of white face that we
Yeah.
can see? Someone's probably already blown that up at like
I'm
1080 to
gonna
50.
guess. I'm gonna say.
It's
I'm gonna
crazy.
guess that's Gwendolyn Christie. That's my.
There's so many
guess.
Star Wars nerds yelling at their computer
They
screens
know
right
the
now.
answer
They're
right
like,
now. Like, these dummies on the internet.
Well, and it's interesting to say we came straight from the panel to here, and this is the first time we've had a chance to
Right. We
to
have
go
not
through
really,
it
yeah.
or look.
Yeah, I
at the internet,
totally
really.
agree.
Right.
So here we have Rey again.
Ray, a very. I mean, this shot just calls to mind.
I love that
Padme.
fact.
this
I
to
love
me
that he was in it. It
Really
was so good.
indicates a lineage
Poor
of
guy.
some sort.
And Leia. I mean,
And
it's
Leia,
very
young
much.
Leia. I mean, 100%. That feels purposeful.
Yeah, you see that, you go, oh, I know why she's in this movie.
I wonder what this mass is here in front that
Cotton
she's
candy.
got. It's cotton candy.
These cool new TIE
I would have
fighters.
loved
very
if Rey was Han and Leia's
This is
daughter.
awesome.
That's actually
What
something I
time
would have
to-
loved.
So to pause that, I
They
love
got a
it.
good point. She looks like
These
both of them.
guys are getting
Such a
messed
cool
up by
shot.
somebody.
There will be a Wilhelm scream right there, I can guarantee.
Is it? Now, can we watch this whole thing? Is it TIE fighters attacking TIE fighters?
It looks like. So somebody's in there.
yeah, it looks like they.
Is it?
Yeah.
There's the
trying to
TIE
take
fighters.
off?
It might be Boyega.
Oh, it's TIE fighters fighting TIE fighters.
Yeah.
Because you can see there's red and green blasters coming, and then Boyega is all freaked out.
What are,
I love this stormtrooper. I mean,
He's
that,
amazing.
That feels to me like the TIE fighter pilot that got smashed by the asteroid
Yeah.
in Empire.
I feel like in a year and a half you're going to be able to buy a Christmas ornament of this guy in this exact position.
So, there is some blood on
There's
his
blood
helmet.
on his helmet.
that is a really cool image that I didn't notice when we were watching.
That's going to be
really
really cool. Cosplay is going to be showing up as the bloodied,
Unreal.
The dirty,
Hey.
bloody Finn, yeah.
Love a good Wilhelm.
and he's freaked out. I like that too. I like
So
that he's
good.
really freaked out. This is a guy who is in way over his head, and it really shows. I find that really compelling. To me, I like when our heroes are having a hard time.
I mean, I know the movie stuff more than I know the books. I don't know if the continuation after the Clone Wars answers the question, but it's very clear that all the stormtroopers now
are not clones.
Yeah,
And that was something
established in Rebels.
Rebels established that quite a bit. They've got stuff going on in Rebels where they're
they still haven't
joining
answered
academies.
Why that is.
Filoni did actually at San Diego.
Well, he said it to people. I only watch the stuff.
But the idea was that the Empire took all of that. They took the clones and the Jedi sort of gave them individuality.
Yeah.
And then it was too expensive to create the clones. So when they just started drafting people, the Empire took all these individuals and forced all the individuality out of them.
Yeah.
And so here we have a shot that looks very much like shots from The Empire Strikes Back of Darth Vader's Star Destroyer.
What are those ships going towards it, though?
It looks like some sort of Imperial shuttle.
Man,
Could that be the shuttle from the earlier
if
shot?
I
Could
was
this be
like the age
evacuation
that I
we
am
were
now
sort of
with the channel
thinking
when the
about?
sequels were coming out,
Always in motion is the
crazy.
future.
That would have been crazy.
But there's a lot of other shuttles here
A lot of
too.
cool new designs.
I love theorizing over these trailers.
And then we have this. That is a stormtrooper with a cape.
That is a stormtrooper who appears to be made of chrome.
One of,
that
yeah,
is a
one
highly
of the most
reflective and metallic
underutilized
image.
characters.
That is
in
another
the whole of the
awesome image.
sequels.
That
Phasma.
cape is unreal. The
100%.
black with the red lining is incredible.
Well, in the framing too, you see the old Death Star pattern in the background
And
too.
then this red over here. This is such a great shot.
Yeah.
It just
this
shows
is-
evil. Yeah, it just shows
this
bad
is so
guy.
cool.
Screams
I
bad.
can't wait to see cosplayers in the Chrome Trooper costume.
Yeah.
Next celebration.
This is going to be. I'm excited to see how they pull that off. And I think the 501st will be excited to get capes into their
their official repertoire.
And then we've got BB-8 creeping around a corner of the Millennium Falcon.
Much like Princess Leia creeping around the corner of her ship in the opening of the original Star Wars. I just wanted to say that we talked about this before the live cast. Is that I think BB-8 is like the hero.
You should
of
just
the
be able to
day.
click the link.
When he or she came out on stage. That was an incredibly cool moment.
Yeah.
That was like this is magic.
It was all
This
for
is
real.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those that aren't watching, BB-8 rolled on stage. There was no gimbal, remote control. It
There's
was
no person
amazing.
in there, and the head operates separately from the ball. Magnets, I'm assuming, but it's the Force. But it looks like something really futuristic and crazy. I was so excited.
I do love BB-8's design.
So it also seemed like her and
Like one of my
BB-8
favorite
and
newest
R2 had a little bit of
acquisitions.
a rivalry on stage. So do you think that's maybe what BB-8's peeking around, like got R2's a little
It's
jealous?
interesting. They both BB-8 on stage. You could really get a sense of the personality of the droid. I mean, there was a lot going on, and R2 is another droid with a lot of personality. So I can sort of see the two of them kind of butting little domes a little bit. You know.
I mean, it does seem there's a parallel between this and A New Hope, and BB-8 seems to have something that he's delivering, kind of like R2. So it seems like there's some kind of parallel.
Important player in what's happening. Yeah.
Okay, then we have another shot of Rey extending a hand to Boyega. To
I
his fin.
love this shot too. What a cool shot.
Well, and he's unsure.
This shot is so Star Wars. This is like such a.
I wonder if the market here we see destroyed is the market we saw in the Force for Change videos.
I'm assuming that's probably what it is. Yeah.
I bet so.
I just there's a lot going on here that I like. I like the fact that in this scenario, our strong hero, the hero who's helping somebody up and taking a stand, she's the female hero. I love that about this. I'm really excited about Rey as potentially a really strong female character in Star Wars, which definitely, as Kathleen Kennedy said today, needs more and is getting more.
Yeah.
And she may be our
Hey,
new
Lightning.
hero in this whole saga.
I think she could be the new lead. Yeah, it's really
Thank you weren't
And then we've
coming.
got the Millennium Falcon.
Which is sort of a continuation of the shot that we had seen in the original
I love that
teaser
lightning.
trailer,
You're here
of the
regardless.
Millennium Falcon being chased on Jakku. We both attacking at the time. but
Oi, get in there.
Jakku
So excited to have you,
and
Nolan.
of course, where they take the battle is what makes that.
All right, we're almost at the end. This is only like the first video that we're looking at. This is crazy.
The audience went nuts at that.
Yes.
And that looks like the engine of a Star Destroyer.
That is the engine of a Star Destroyer. That is
That looks
really
like a super
incredible.
Star Destroyer, no?
That might be a
Or-
super.
So
Yeah.
my
know.
question is, who's piloting it? Knowing what's coming next in the trailer, who's behind the wheel of that ship?
I would bet that it is Rey and
Rey and Finn.
Yeah.
I would actually bet that as well.
Yeah.
Or maybe this is Han back behind the cockpit,
Showing up.
showing them how to do it.
You know, I would actually bet you that a lot of what we're seeing in this trailer is very early in the movie. I bet we're seeing very little that comes out of the first. This is like all the first 30 minutes or 40 minutes of the movie we're seeing in general, which is exciting because there's so much cool stuff, and it's just the first act.
Yeah.
That's so neat.
Oh, there's that zoom in
That
shot.
zoom is so good. I
That's
love
so
that zoom.
JJ too. Yeah.
Oh, new TIE fighter pilot.
Very cool. Also metallic.
Yeah. So do you think that might be possibly the?
Is that stripe on the
Aw,
suit?
thanks,
or
Zach.
I think that is a painted stripe.
Absolutely.
That is
man.
really neat. That is
That
really
means a
neat.
lot. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
well, it
I
could
do
be
my
the
best
light.
to try and
Who
just have
knows?
fun, enjoy what we
No,
can.
That's painted on.
That's
It's a good
cool.
time.
I
Thanks
like
so
that a
much. That means a
lot.
lot.
I like the tubes coming out the
Yeah.
side, and
I love that it's just an update on this stuff from the original trilogy. It's not like these like huge new things. We're seeing like images that like remind us of what we.
Yeah,
loved.
nobody walked in and said, "I think we have to redesign this from the ground up." The idea was this is an evolutionary step in the universe. It's the same universe.
Yeah.
this is very reminiscent of the Millennium Falcon's escape from Death Star 2.
Yep.
And that was the
I
last
wonder if
shot.
it's going to lose a chunk of it.
It loses another radar dish. And then
Blasters up.
This is the moment that got me teary-eyed.
Yeah, I hate to admit it, but this is the moment where I kind of choked up, and I was like, "Wow, I didn't think that that I had that in me anymore." But here I am getting choked up.
Yeah, I mean, it's not Harrison Ford coming in and trying to be Han Solo again. It just is Han Solo again. Him and Chewie standing next to each other, guns ready.
This was a
Ready to
massive
Not just
moment.
that,
Hey,
the line,
massive
Chewie,
moment.
we're home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, who?
Yeah, it's
If
great.
you have a heart, I've gotten so many texts from so many friends and stuff. Everybody I know is like in tears.
Yeah, it's
after
great.
this
And you know
line.
what's really great? Also, I think that as for fans of the original trilogy, the big question mark is that as excited as we are to have the originals return, the question always is revisiting old friends and old characters 30 years later. You wonder, is it going to be the same? Is that going to capture the same magic? This 2 seconds of footage lays so much of that to rest. You were like, oh, okay, yeah, 100%. Like, that's Han Solo. He's back. He's older. Also a cool jacket again.
And it's Harrison Ford looking like he's actually
He's
excited.
engaged. He's there. He's with it. And so a lot of the fears I think that we had of like maybe it's best to leave those characters in that trilogy. They lifted for me. I'm like, no, this is perfect. This is 100% Han Solo. There was an argument I was having on Twitter. Maybe you guys, being nerds, can help. Should Chewie be a little gray?
Always.
Let's talk about
That's a good point. I think
Wookiee
Chewie
lifespans.
being
How old is
grayer.
Chewie?
Chewie was 200 in the classic trilogy.
So he's
about
230 now.
230 now, and 30 years seems like it's probably a
A
blip
very
on
small amount for a Wookiee. Yeah,
it's probably true.
Not a small amount for a human.
his. No.
Well, I mean, Chewie's life debt is he's going to live past it. Let's just say that. He'll be fine. He'll go on to live another.
I just what a classic. This is. This could be just a restaging of a shot from the original film, but it doesn't feel like it's just aping. It doesn't feel like it's just ripping off. It feels like a continuation.
Crazy.
And the next step. It's
We're almost at the
I
end,
felt same way
so
about
let's
the
see
final
what's
Millennium
up
Falcon
next.
Shot in the first teaser, and so JJ and his crew are
Interviews
picking
Bob
really
Iger.
great.
Why are their
shots to
guns
end.
raised? Who are they shooting at? Who are they threatening to get back onto their ship?
Well, that's the best part is that he say, "Oh, we're home," and they have their guns raised.
Yeah.
So
Let's look at an interview now with JJ Abrams. Copyright.
What does it feel like for you the night before you're going to come do something like this?
All right, let's get into it. JJ Abrams interviews with StarWars.com. Anthony Carboni. Let's see what he's got to say. When this all came out, I wasn't involved in the Star Wars community at all. Same. So I never saw this. I didn't know what Celebration even was. How crazy. How crazy, yeah. I kind of get you. I think I knew what Celebration was, but yeah, I wasn't at all on the internet side of Star Wars. So I'm with you there. So this is all new to me as well. So let's see what JJ says. Again, only the trailer for Force Awakens was out at this point. Let's see what he says about it, though.
Frankly, it is vaguely terrifying because you just don't know, and you hope that fans will like what you're doing. And
Cantina with J.J. Abrams. Oh, that's good. After you release the trailer, you want that kind of reaction from people, right?
It's incredibly sweet. It's really nice. Thank you, guys. Thanks, everyone.
What does it feel like for you the night before you're going to come do something like this?
Frankly, it is vaguely terrifying because you just don't know, and you hope that fans will like what you're doing. And they deserve something great, and we just are working really hard to give it to them.
Yeah, reaction to the trailer has been wonderful. Is this your first time at Celebration?
No, I came once before just with my kids for fun. It was awesome.
Awesome. And
That's
what's
cool.
it like kind of
Wow.
seeing all the fans in one place here?
It's an amazing thing. I mean, I was just saying before to a friend that you can talk about it a lot, you can anticipate it a lot, you can, plan it, but you cannot understand what it feels like to get out there on that stage and to be met with that kind of passion for something, and it really is a testament to what George Lucas created.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking to Bob Iger earlier this morning about kind of walking
It's
that
crazy
tightrope
to
between
think
the
what the
new
sequel trilogy would have been
and
like
kind of keeping
if
things,
JJ did Last
the way
Jedi
the
as
fans
well.
are kind of used to them, and also kind of pushing forward a little bit. Is that kind of a hard tightrope walk when you're making the teaser?
I was going to say it's very much a tightrope walk, and not just for the teaser, but for the movie itself. Because this has to be new, and it's got to be something that a story that fans have not seen before. And at the same time, it's Star Wars, and you have to allow it to be inheriting, what it's been. And I think the trick is to be forward-thinking, but embrace everything, this incredible foundation that was built before us.
What would you say is sort of different? You've worked on a lot of huge properties. You've created some. You've worked on some. What do you think it is about Star Wars specifically that allows for a huge celebration like this?
What's incredible is that it transcends any movie, any series, any game. It's not just in any way the merchandise. It's the fans, and there's a community that comes together with this universe, this story.
Me too, Zach. Me too.
It's so compelling, and it's so impressive, and it's so enormous and passionate. And so I feel honored to get to play a small role.
I agree.
That's awesome. And you were talking about sort of, you have to make it Star Wars, but you also have to do something new. You're kind of known for keeping some things in continuity between projects for you. So I'm wondering how you're going to get Greg Grunberg and Slusho into Star Wars canon. Any plans for that yet?
I'm not sure about Slusho, but Greg Grunberg is in the movie.
Be amazing.
And he's actually wonderful in the movie.
Probably Melbourne would be the
so
best
I'm
place
thrilled.
for
He's
that.
for anyone who doesn't know, he's my oldest friend since kindergarten, and he's sort of not just a great actor, but sort of a lucky charm too.
It was.
And, just finally, how did it feel after the trailer was over in there?
Here's the thing. I was holding my breath for, it feels like weeks leading up to the trailer and our second teaser. And when it was over, the sound that came from that space was almost a physical thing that I felt like we were being pushed over. It was incredible, and I am so grateful to everyone who was there.
Awesome. And just between you and me, that scene where the X-wings are flying over the water. Yeah. I mean, I got some chills there.
I'm so glad to hear it. I'm so glad.
I got some chills there. That was my personal moment, I think.
Awesome.
The Star Wars team wanted to give you a deck of these.
Oh, right on. That's amazing. I collect cards.
Just some spot cards to play while you're in the cantina here.
Thank you so much. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
what a
Thank you
random
very
thing
much.
to do.
Awesome.
Sure.
JJ
Abrams, hey? So fresh. But yeah, I would love to really sit down and think about that. What if JJ Abrams continued and did all 3 sequel movies? I think I think it just would have been so different. Oh, look at the comments 9 years ago. I like that he looks so professional. Like, yes, I'm going to make a good Star Wars movie. Just because I'm a good filmmaker at the same time, humble about all that. Feeling okay about this so far. I actually trust him. He seems really focused. That's true. Oh, old YouTube comments are in the background. This is so good. So funny. All right, let's see what else is next. Howard Rothman, a couple of Hidalgo. Some of these, I don't know. Some of these I'm not super thrilled to like. Ian McDermott, I always love to hear about. So let's hear from Ian.
James, as I know you know. Yeah, that was the first day. That's when it all happened, James, as I know you know.
Oh, yes. Okay, here we go. So Ian McDermott panel. The host of this seems to be James Arnold Taylor. Hilarious. Amazing. This is a 9-minute video. Let's jump straight into it, see what he's got to say.
No, and some of you might know, but it was, I was at home thinking, what's next? While I was in a play at a small theatre in London called the Royal Court Theatre upstairs. And I was playing, of all people, someone you'll all know very well, part of your culture, a sort of Sam Shepard's creation of Howard Hughes called Henry Hackamore. And I was very old with very straggly hair in the part and very long fingernails. And I looked as if I was at death's door, frankly. And that only took about 5 minutes of makeup. And I was... and this, of course, is what thrilled the casting director. Little did I know it was going to take a little longer later. But she came along and saw me in that, and there was an actor already cast as the Emperor, and unfortunately, he couldn't take the contact lenses, which were fairly fierce. So they were looking for someone else. And Mary Selway, for it was she, great casting director, had suggested to George and Richard Marquand, the directors, that maybe they should see me. So I got this telephone call one lunchtime from my agent saying that George Lucas would like to see me. Well, just as I was sort of gasping, and picking my jaw back up and trying to reset my face, there was a car outside and they'd already arrived. So I got in it. I went to the studios. I met George and Richard over lunchtime. 10 minutes it was. They were already shooting, of course, the other scenes. And I don't know what we talked about, but it was pleasant, but it wasn't about the part. I wasn't asked to read. I wasn't asked to do anything on film. I thought, oh, well, I've met him. It's great. And as I was going out the door, he went, oh, great to meet you, Ian. Great nose.
That was very good.
So I thought,
look how young he is.
The man likes my nose. I can tell people that George Lucas complimented my nose. So I'll settle for that.
That's so great.
So I went back and the phone was ringing again as I walked through the door. This is perfectly true. And my agent said, he could hardly contain himself. You've got the part. And I said, oh, great. What's the part? And he went, oh, honest, the questions you actors ask, George Lucas, give me a break. Anyway, he leafed through his notes and he said, he's called the Emperor of the Universe. So I said, oh, well, I guess we'll be doing it then. And so that was the story of the nose, James.
That's the nose. Thank you for that nose story. I also know something about you that you kind of enjoy the prosthetic makeup and such. That the process of that.
Yeah, and it was great watching the skill of the people who were involved. And first time round, it was Nick Dudman who went on to do many things, music? Not least to design the whole makeup and prosthetic department of Harry Potter. And in these days, he was working for Stuart and Graham Freeborn, marvelous makeup artists. And to begin with, it took 4 hours. So I'd get up very early and arrive at the studio. And I'd remembered I'd seen that film about Joan Crawford. With Faye Dunaway,
Mommy Dearest.
Yes, that's right. And she apparently, the film said, I don't know if it was true, that she'd get up very early in the morning.
Well, keep watching. I gotta go grab a package that I think might be related.
Stick her head in the ice.
Yes.
Because that did great
did
things
you guys
to
hear
her
music?
skin.
I can hear music.
So I thought the most useful thing I could do was open the oven, stick my head in the oven, and that would do a lot for the Emperor. But I didn't do that. You see, that's how undedicated I was. I was younger then. I'm more serious about my work now. However, I went in and Nick said, the best thing you can do, Ian, is fall asleep. Well, I worked on that, and then I got there. So this is a bit later, though. This is in Australia, I think. Yeah. And the two guys involved then had David Elsey, who you see in the picture. Yeah. I think that's David, And the thing I've got on my head, you don't see me put it on, is a bit like a balaclava. So I would put it on like that, and then they'd paint and work around it, which meant they could do it much more quickly. I sort of preferred the old way because, vanity, I thought my neck was too thick as a result of this way. But he wasn't that old then.
No.
He was in transition.
And was this a really different process then from Return of the Jedi? Because it did not appear to be the same type of.
That's right, and they were in several pieces in Jedi, and this is all one. In Jedi, I had cheek pieces there and a headpiece, and of course the nose was my own, and still is. And then they worked on the neck. So this. They needed to move fast. The whole of Revenge of the Sith was shot in 60 days, not a minute more.
If you could have played any other Star Wars character, who would it have been?
That's a very difficult one. Right?
Is it really? Yeah.
Yes.
Too many good ones?
Well, no, yes. I mean, nobody could really play Princess Leia like Carrie. So I would be, a little hesitant about suggesting that.
The bikini would be fun, though.
But yes. Well, Yoda, of course,
Yoda,
for obvious reasons.
Yes.
I could sort of see to his demise a little earlier, or his demise at all. He's still out there somewhere.
That's right.
God help us all.
Okay, very good. If you were deserted on a Star Wars planet,
Yeah.
None in particular. Which Star Wars character
My God, Brian.
would you like
Hey.
to be sharing that time with?
Yeah, well, I suppose.
We're back to Princess Leia, right?
Yes. It's a very tricky question, but I suppose just anyone who was raw meat to be seduced to the dark side, really.
Okay. Now, when the Emperor was a toddler,
Yeah.
what would we be surprised to know was his favorite toy?
What a question. What a weird
No, it's
question.
not. It's really
I
quite
love it.
easy. It was a teddy bear, which explains a lot.
Yeah, because somebody
Because
took it.
teddy bears are very like Ewoks, are they not? And I never mind Palpatine. I've never recovered from having my whole empire destroyed.
I love
and me
James Arnold
personally,
Taylor. He's
as
so
a
great.
result of fleet of teddy bears. And I think he must have. No, it's true. You know, I think he put. This is. I mean, close your ears, boys and girls. But I think as a youth, he tore a teddy bear apart, and this is their revenge.
It broke his heart.
Yeah.
I have with me the Return of the Jedi Shakespeare book. And there is a scene in here with you and Luke Skywalker.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if I gave you this, and maybe just we can give you a light. Would you guys want to see him perform Star Wars Shakespeare?
On.
I mean,
You can say no. No, come on, hate me.
Yes,
He's
please.
such a
The stage is
character.
yours.
Well, thank you, James.
Yes.
I have to be careful. I'm very happy to indulge you. I just hope I don't indulge myself.
Oh, please do.
This is unreal.
Okay. I don't quite know what the context is, but here we go. Oh, yes, I'll read the stage direction just before. It says, Emperor Palpatine strikes Luke Skywalker with lightning that flows through his hands. Luke falls, Darth Vader rises.
Woo.
Then Luke says, oh, agony, as well he might. Mark should be here to do that.
Yeah.
But, he's in the building somewhere. Okay, here we go. Young fool, 'tis only now in this thy final living moment thou dost comprehend thy folly and my might. Thy feeble skills are nothing when compared to all the power of the dark side. Thou dost pay the rightful price for thy severe and utter lack of vision. Aye, thy debt is due, and I am both thy creditor and thy collector too. What thou hast not repaid with thy belief, I shall exact from thine own flesh. And know what joy it brings to charge thee thus, my payment justly earned, to wound thee, hurt thee, break thee, and at the last, to bring thee to the death that I am owed.
Wow.
Wushu.
So good.
Bit of kickboxing, kicking boxes.
Unreal. He's so good at it. He's so good at the way he just turns it on immediately. It's so good. I'm gonna have nightmares now. I love that. Absolutely. Well, on that note, we're not ending. We're gonna have a little mini intermission because as we're doing this celebration orientated stream, I got a celebration related package arrive while we're here. That's where I keep running away to. I was waiting for this package to arrive. So as a little intermission, let's open up this package. It's nothing too crazy. It was just, there was a good deal on it. And I had to have it. And I was looking for some more merch back from the Star Wars Celebration 2022. Nice box, quality box. Oh, so good. This is a limited edition from Star Wars Celebration 2022, like I said. Hat, nice and simple. You can see, look at that, cool branding. Limited edition. Nice and simple, just a black and white Star Wars hat. And on the side of it, it just has a nice and simple Star Wars Celebration. Again, I'm just so excited for Japan. I have been loving doing these streams looking back at Celebration with you guys. So I thought, you know, how better than to treat myself to a little Celebration treat. 1400 made. This is number 730. Again, just nice and simple. I didn't want anything crazy. I've got headphones and my hair is up, but I like it. I like it. I'm like too scared to take off the tag, but I will, because I think I will genuinely be wearing this around, especially at Celebration Japan as well. But how cool! How cool! I was like, how perfect that this came right when we're doing a Celebration live stream. I'll be wearing this tomorrow, talking with Tony as well to talk Celebration. So good, so fitting. All right, back to business. Back to business. What are we up to? What is next on the agenda? Keith Kellogg talking about Star Wars. The Belgian prop builders interview. Let's talk to the Belgian prop builders.
Well, I'm here on Ray's speeder from Star Wars: The Force Awakens, or at least from the teaser. That's all any of us have seen so far. This is done by the Belgian builders. Now, the Belgian builders build these really cool sets and props and all these amazing pieces like Ray's speeder here, although I think I'm out of gas. It's getting hot in here. Well, anyway, I'm going to go talk to some Belgians.
Oh, again, don't copyright me, damn it.
Which is Jim. So you built this whole thing just in time for this show.
We did. We had about 5 weeks, which is not much to build.
Yes, the Belgians.
No, and look at the incredible amount of detail.
We got special material to make this happen. We had pictures from the set, not screen use pictures, but just some basic pictures of the prop. And we got some plans, blueprints to make this happen, to build this thing.
Here we are in the Echo Base Hoth Medical Bay. How long did it take you to build this set? I have FX7 here. It's very, very nice to meet you. Oh dear, I broke it. Oh God, oh no. So is this something that you're particularly proud of? Luke!
Looks like it.
Luke!
Wow.
George Lucas at Celebration 6 in 2012 signed this. Will there be a medical bay in episode 7?
Part is the chess table, chess corner. You know, our dream actually would be to build this.
I want to keep watching the video, but all the music is going to get me copyright striked. So let's see what else we got in here. Ray Park panel highlights. That's cool.
Ladies and
Ray
gentlemen, Ray Park!
Remind your fans how this all got started, because you were a martial artist and a champion. You're very humble. You don't like to go on about these things, so I will. A champion in many different forms of martial arts. Now, which ones? We got wushu.
Got Shaolin, Wushu, bit of kickboxing, kicking boxes.
Yeah.
And
Is that what you guys just come out and you kick boxes?
Yeah, we just kick boxes.
And the farthest, it's like they were playing Angry Birds out here. I don't know if you saw that. They would kick the boxes. So now, what is wushu then? Can you give us kind of a explanation of that?
Wushu is more of an elaborate style of kung fu. You know, where say you have like this move.
Yeah.
Wushu would be that move.
So there's just a little bit more, showmanship.
A bit more showmanship. Yeah.
Okay, and there's always a kind of a pop to it. Is there one that is more of that, where there's the snap? Which one is that? I'm trying to remember. There's wushu and Shaolin. You have that great kind of.
Yeah, Shaolin has it, but Wushu more so. You know,
Okay.
I always call it the Bruce Lee Elvis. You know?
Oh, yeah.
You know, like the.
Yeah, oh, and then a little hands.
Hey, baby.
Okay. Oh, what about Long Fist though? Long Fist is a completely different one altogether.
Yeah, it comes from the northern part of China. We've talked about this before. Where you know, like you've got the southern fist is shorter, and then long fist is longer.
Longer, yes, and it's that big. See, I can't do that. It always ends up looking like a little dinosaur.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody knows this, but you had a cameo in episode 1, right?
Yeah. I was telling someone about this the other day. I was so excited to be part of Star Wars and be busy working as Darth Maul. So I came in on my day off. It was a Wednesday.
Okay.
And so Nick Gillard, the stunt coordinator, he said, "Hey, do you want to be a Naboo guard?" And George approved it, and Rick McCallum, and so I ended up being a Naboo guard. So,
And do you guys know that? Does anybody know that?
I did not know that.
Do you want to see him in it? You'll never look at this scene again the same way because you're like, there's Ray Park. Look at that. All right.
I wish I hammed it up a bit more at the time.
Let's take a look.
Go! Where is he? Where is he? Wow, there you go.
Yeah! Yeah!
You know, I remember that day because I remember Rick and George because I was holding my laser gun and I was holding it like this. I was trying to go. Yeah. And they were like, Ray, this is not Tarantino. I was like, how would that act being chopped in half? Because I'm a big fan of Star Wars. I've watched it since I was a kid. But how do you act being chopped in half with a lightsaber? And the only thing I can think of was needing to go to the toilet. And that's the face of Darth Maul was.
Okay. So, with that in mind, let's look at it again and watch Ray's face.
I brought a clip because I'm like, it gets a bit tiresome thinking, you know, like you're always on at me about getting chopped in half and stuff. So I brought a clip of my own.
Okay.
And this is the way it should have finished.
You guys want to see this clip?
Phantom Menace.
Okay. All right.
Can you roll it, please?
This is so interesting.
We have this. This is a lightsaber, but this doesn't feel right, does it? Is there anybody in the crowd that has a Darth Maul one that's like got both sides to it? Oh, there it is. Hey!
My gosh,
come
someone
here,
does
my
have
friend.
it.
Here.
It's so cool.
May I borrow this from you for a moment? Okay. He goes, sure. Yeah, whatever. He's all dressed in black, and here's my lightsaber. Yeah, sure. That's fine. Ray,
this is so
I
good.
think you've held one of these once or twice.
A few times.
What's the Maul technique? Yeah, look at that. Oh, it's scary.
Well, see, Maul was very confident, you know, so he would do these flamboyant moves and it's always like, come on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think it comes from Bruce Lee. I love watching Bruce Lee and
so you were inspired by him when you were watching this. And I remember also, you were like, I get to be in a Star Wars movie. I mean, you grew up, you and I are you're younger than me, but you grew up with Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it's like, I finally get to be in one. You thought you were going to be a Jedi or something? Or?
Yeah, well, when Nick Gillard asked me to come in and he was talking to me about this character, I was like, okay, not in a million years am I going to play this guy. I'm going to end up helping out, maybe just like making tea and cleaning the crash mats. And so to get to play a bad guy, well, I didn't want to play a bad guy at first.
No.
I wanted to be a Jedi.
Sure.
You know, as a kid at school, I always played the cop. I was always the hero.
Really?
You know, chasing after the girls.
Yeah.
You know? So I didn't think in a million years that I would be a bad guy in movies.
That did not age well.
It's the best feeling in the world to be Darth Maul.
Yeah, and so then you take a character like Bruce Lee and all these things that he did, an actor, I should say, and take some of his characters and apply it to a bad guy. And you end up getting these moves and things that Darth Maul has. It's fascinating stuff. So give us a little stance of Darth Maul then. So if he's coming up against Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Well, he'd be more like, come on.
Yeah, see, he's staring at me. It's very scary right now.
Darth Maul doesn't have to do much.
No.
Because in Wushu, I don't know if you've seen a lot of Kung Fu movies, the bad guys would always be the most interesting guys, where the masters wouldn't even look at you. They'd be more like,
I think he's looking at my shoe and I'm terrified.
Hey, Brennan, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
And wouldn't even look, but they can see you. And then they would do something like,
hey, let's see if we can. Is there another one?
He's such a weird guy.
Oh, that's better.
So
okay.
funny.
You got blue on.
Let's see if we can recreate that scene there.
That's easy. Ready?
That's easy. So I'm up here.
You're blocking. And
I'm blocking. Snap your pictures. Oh no.
Oh, is it?
And duck.
On my stream? How?
Okay. Okay.
Duck. And then block.
Block.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good.
Ready?
Uh-huh. Okay.
One, duck, and then block.
Oh, sorry, and I just cut your leg
cut my leg
off.
off.
Okay, let's see. We got another picture?
Dude, I didn't even
Let's
know
see.
that my logo comes up.
Are you kidding?
It's so annoying.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we got to switch sides. Very good.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay,
Are you
switch
serious?
sides.
You want me to do a kick? Okay, I'll do a lane.
Well, I'm not that tall, so you don't need to go up that high. Oh, wait. Oh. Okay, ready? You guys
I
ready?
can see it in the back
Okay.
end. I
Okay.
just see it in the
I'll do
back
this
end.
hand up
Yeah,
like
I can
this.
see it.
Okay.
Why is it? How is it there? Has that been there every stream ever?
Oh, I've got cramp.
Oh. Did you get it?
Okay, I'll have
ready?
to do that
Okay, one more
once I'm not live, though. That's so annoying. I never knew that was there.
Oh, the glasses should be flying off.
You know, the last time I kicked was a year
Hey,
ago.
Kevin, how you doing?
Really?
Jason.
That's Star Wars Weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Good. Well, I'm glad I could wake those muscles up for you. Ladies
Yeah,
and gentlemen, Ray
weird.
Park.
I can see it on the
Come
back end. What device do you want to do? Phone or laptop?
You know, we have that. We got to give that back. Does anybody have a Sharpie?
Yes.
Ray, would you? Is that all right if we sign it?
Can I sign it,
Oh,
buddy?
that's so nice. That's so nice. It's always been there. Okay, I'll have to change that after the show. Oh, look at the little kid. Look at his little face.
Wow.
You too. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Use this well, young Sith.
And
Padawan.
I wish I
Let
could
that
find
dry.
that
Don't
kid.
close that up
He's
just
like,
yet.
he would be like 20.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, come on. That's very nice of you to do.
That's so cool.
Thank you.
So I went
Unreal.
back and the phone was ringing again as I walked.
Unreal. I'm loving it. Are you guys loving this show? Are you loving these interviews? There's so many. Like I said, we'll be skipping a few. But we'll keep on rolling in. Peter Mayhew. Her Universe fashion show. Do we want to see that? Is it relaxing watching Star Wars stuff? Oh, I appreciate that. I hope you're having a good time. Sit back, relax, turn your brain off for the while. Like you didn't even need to queue. I know, right? So good, Stanley's. That's so true. So true. Okay, what do you guys want to watch next up? Should we do Her Universe? Her Universe or Peter Mayhew? Which one? We can maybe skim the Her Universe one. Copyright.
Ashley, welcome to the cantina.
I miss Andy.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so amazing.
All right, let's get in here. 2015 fashion. I'm ready to judge. I'm ready to judge.
Today.
That's so cool.
Inspired by Leonardo da Vinci, it actually has the opening crawl from The Empire Strikes Back.
No way. I didn't even notice that. I'll have to take a
There's
closer
a
look.
subtle nod to Empire Strikes Back in there. And AJ is also modeling our new Ewok crochet bag, perfect for all
Check
ages.
that out.
Perfect size. It really fits your wallet, your
Wish I could
cell
crochet.
phone, and our matching hearts dresses.
Aw,
So
that's
we have
adorable.
Danielle and,
That's super
and we have
cute.
Sloan.
Good
And Danielle is in what we're calling our bad guys
It's okay, Brennan.
hearts
We'll
dress.
be
And
live for a
Sloan
while.
is in our good guys hearts dress.
That's great.
Obviously, you can see, you can wear it together as a duo, mom, daughter,
Oh, that cute, man.
sisters, friends. Guy, aka
Oh, the
Lily.
iconic.
And Lily is modeling our new lightsaber skirt
Oh,
and lightsaber top.
If
now,
I wore
many
skirts,
people
I would wear
saw
that.
this shirt
I'm-
yesterday
I don't need
because
a skirt.
I had a major fangirl flail when Kathleen Kennedy walked out on stage in. Daisy is in command of her wardrobe because she is wearing
An
our
Imperial cardigan? Dude.
Imperial cardigan. So, High
Imperial
Commander
cardigan.
cardigan. It's Tarkin's badge.
Unreal. That's great. Look at that. Look at that. Ray's left-handed. Yeah, Daisy? That's cool. I didn't know that. That'll be interesting. Imperial cardigan.
And also, she is wearing our Hoth dress.
Very
I
cool.
mean, at
DB.
first glance,
Nah,
you
bro.
think it's just a
Couldn't
beautiful
pay me.
kind of
Couldn't pay me.
blue
Yeah.
dress. And then you look closer and you're like, oh, wait a minute.
There's
that's
a
the
battle on it.
That's the battle on Hoth. And there's AT-ATs. There's actually Tanya in her Best Fin Cloud City dress.
Oh, that is
right
so
up there, Savannah. And
X-Wing cardigan.
And we were so inspired by Cloud City. Yeah. And the beautiful colors of the horizon. And we've got Cloud City on there, and we've also got the Millennium Falcon.
And Slave One on the back.
And then Slave One on the back.
That's what I love about these dresses is there's
It's crazy just how connected to everything Ashley is. Like the fact, not only is she just like voicing Ahsoka right now. Actually, no, Clone Wars had finished by this point. But like she's just so hardcore into Star Wars, and it's so cool. So cool. Oh yeah. Hang on. I think this is the moment. I think this is the moment, guys.
Now,
here.
So much is happening.
Hello, everyone. I am Eric Pfeiffer, and I have a very important question to ask Savannah.
That's such a cool idea.
I have told my parents many times that I wanted a Star Wars fan that I would meet at one of these conventions. And I have known Savannah for a few years. We've been dating for a while. And so, Savannah, I love you. And I was wondering if you would marry me.
That is like what dreams are made of. That's incredible. This is so just like random. Oh my goodness.
She said yes, everyone!
That's unreal. So there's so much to unpack here. Like, they're kind of awkward but cute for each other. And then Ashley Eckstein is just being like, imagine Ashley Eckstein being at your proposal. They're just like everyone's just watching you kiss. This is so funny.
Congratulations, Savannah and Eric. Savannah, did you have any clue?
Oh, I can't. This is like cringing me out. This is cringing me out a little bit, but it is cringily adorable.
Oh, I had no idea. Well, Savannah thought she was doing a Her Universe segment today, and Eric contacted me a couple months ago and said, I'm looking for the perfect way to propose to Savannah.
That's
and
so cool. Like, that's pretty epic. That
the
is
most
sick.
adorable Star Wars couple. Congrats.
That's adorable. That's so cool. All right. What was next? Peter Mayhew. The beautiful proposal. Oh my god. That opener is gonna get me copyright strike alone. Get down on one knee. That's true. In a Stormtrooper outfit, you can't get down fully on one knee. I wish it was a Star Wars ring. All right, let's get into it. Peter Mayhew, interview.
Live, powered by Verizon on StarWars.com. Join now in the cantina.
I thank you very much for inviting me. I needed a drink anyway, so I came to the right place.
I got to tell you, I've been walking around in this cantina for 2 days now, and I'm still not used to it.
We walked from that side around the other side into here.
Yep.
And this is where the altercation came with Greedo.
Yeah.
And
You've got a blaster burn right in your back there.
There's a blaster burn there. But fortunately, Chewie was not there when the actual shooting took place.
Right.
He was preparing the Falcon.
Now, I've got to ask you, you came in yesterday. You were in the panel. You were there for the reveal.
Yes.
Now that people have finally seen the first glimpse of you as Chewbacca again in The Force Awakens, like, how did it feel showing that off to the world?
Look, I have bumps.
Dude, I do the same thing every time I talk about that trailer.
How large his hands are, dude. That's crazy.
I was blown away. Yes, I'd seen it the night before on a little screen, but to watch it on the big screen.
Yeah.
And when you think the amount of people that you had there, everybody was on their feet. And no, there wasn't a dry eye in the place. Yeah. I've talked to people all this morning and last night, and they go, that's a cool show. That's a cool event. And one guy even went out and got drunk because he enjoyed it so much.
I would love to show you after we're done. I have so many videos of my friends tearing up. Yep. So many of my videos getting choked up. Yeah, so many friends getting choked up by this trailer. We were all here as we watched it, feeling the same way. Was there any nervousness before it happened? Just like, did you know how people would react? Were you worried at all?
We had a good idea. Those people that were involved in the original series, and when JJ came out and said, I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way, that meant going backwards, doing all the stuff the proper way, not digital or anything like that, using the old equipment. Those that were involved in it said it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And thank God for JJ and everybody that worked on the crew.
What a legend. What an absolute legend.
I'm not going to say any more.
Yeah.
But just go and watch it.
I got to say, one thing that a lot of
I
people
love
have
him
been
so much.
commenting
He's so
on
wholesome.
is Chewie's looking good.
Yeah.
Chewie's looking good for 30 years going by. What is he? A lot of conditioner, brushing 100 times on each side.
Combs, brushes, hair conditioner, it's all there, and the snow helps. When we're on half, he gets that lovely shine on his coat.
A little raw egg in his breakfast in the morning for his coat.
Yep.
So I got to ask, you're talking about doing things the old way and kind of going back to it. I'm sure that brought up a lot of memories for you as you were filming again.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a story? And I'm sure they change all the time over 30 years. But right now, if you could think of a story that's kind of your favorite of the making of the original movies.
It would be the chess game on the Falcon.
Oh yeah,
that's so cool.
3PO, R2, and Chewie. We're there. We've got a checkers board laid out.
Right.
And we're rehearsing because Harrison's over the back there. Alec and Mark are playing bat and ball with the lasers.
Right.
And we're about to shoot. We've got 3 or 4 cameras there. Nothing big. And
just like a few cameras on a full Starship set. I'm wearing a Wookiee costume. It's not a big deal.
He's such a big guy, hey. Obviously, but so
the
tall.
AD comes up. Right, we go in a minute. So I lean over to him and said, "Look, there's nothing on the board."
Right.
He said, "Oh, don't worry about that. Just act, and we'll put it in later." And that's what happened.
Yeah.
Hey, Numa.
They put all
how you
the
doing?
chess pieces in special effects.
And was that the first time? Because obviously throughout the trilogy,
that was the first time I was aware of the trilogy being a success.
That's so amazing.
It's amazing.
That's
it really
so great.
is.
I wanted to know, was there a, talking about that moment with the chessboard and kind of knowing that it was going to be a success there, was there another moment where you kind of jumped on and you were like, not only is this going to be a success, this is going to be special. This is going to last.
I think it was after when we were probably halfway through Empire, and you get the investment and stuff, and you also get critics that see rushes, and if they don't like it, it's going to be a success.
I love that. I kind of love that. That's so good.
No, it varied.
Yeah.
You can't say, "Oh, that movie is going to be a success." It's a period of time.
Yeah.
That the English fans or the American fans have their own way of doing things.
Yeah.
You talk to anybody here from over the pond or someone that's here, they've got the different ideas and they know what they want. But usually they want something that they haven't seen before and yet is still up to a standard that the original Star Wars movies were.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, it's there.
Now, your voice is not the voice we hear in the films.
No.
But you are making noises on set.
Yes.
Can you tell us the unfiltered? Can we get some unfiltered Chewie?
Wow.
Or various things. Luckily, I know the guy that is going to edit this lot out, so we normally have some fun.
Yeah.
Because you're having to react to Carrie Mark
so good.
person in a small space like this. So you've got to know what you're playing with and what your reactions is going to be.
This is Peter Mayhew.
So
he plays
it
Chewie
all
in the OT.
depends. If I've been out to lunch and had a few martinis, Chewie gets a different voice.
Oh my days!
When I've had a straight lunch.
Gotcha.
So, it varies.
That's awesome.
What a secret!
I gotta say, you've been attending these shows for
unreal. Yeah, in a way it does. Oh, there's so much from this celebration. How do I go back to the normal view? Oh, what am I doing? Default view. There we go. Okay, what's next? Ray Park, Peter Mayhew. Oh yes, Star Wars Battlefront interview.
We are back live at Star Wars Celebration 2015, powered by StarWars.com. The whole weekend is big. It's full of big news. For me, today is particularly big because we got to see the trailer for Star Wars Battlefront. And I'm joined on stage now by a few of the developers of Star Wars Battlefront. We've got Patrick Bach. We've got Lena Ingvarsdottir. We've got Nicholas. Oh, you guys. You know what Scandinavian names do to people. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. But we got Nicholas and
so
Brett
awkward.
McLeod. I can do McLeod.
There we go. We got one.
Oh, butchered that. Here we go.
Oh my days.
So let's
that's so awkward. Yee.
About the announcement of the trailer and the panel today. Obviously, a very, very exciting moment for you guys. Some really amazing stuff in the trailer. Number one, we got a release date, yes?
So yes, more context. Obviously, Star Wars Battlefront, the remake of Star Wars Battlefront, released in 2015. So this is the interviews with the creators because the game's dropping. So crazy. So crazy.
When is the game coming out?
It's coming out November 17th.
November 17th. We also got to see some of the locations, including Solus, which is a big deal.
Yes, that's pretty awesome. The team has done some amazing work on recreating that planet that hasn't really been brought to life.
Yep.
Really, so together with the
There we go. Back on track.
Kind of pushing the bar on what could that be, and it's just amazing. I know we have some great stories on how we did that. So
Yeah, we're basing Solus on actually my native country of Iceland, and we've gone there to capture the black lava and the red lava
That's amazing.
and the clouds of steam. And yeah, we think it will be a very exciting environment for players to experience for the first time.
And that's got to be very cool working with Lucas on this sort of location that we don't know much about yet, and kind of working in tandem to figure out how that looks. That's got to be a kind of singular process. Has that ever happened for you guys before?
No, we never worked with an external IP like this before, and of course, the biggest one being Star Wars.
Mhm.
So getting the chance to actually work together with the creators of the IP, and add to the vision and the lore of what it could be. I think it's just been amazing. So we're super proud.
And for people who are not super familiar with Battlefront, can you just let us know a little bit of what the game's about?
Well, the game's about experiencing and creating your own Star Wars battle fantasies. That's the thing that we really want players to, be able to experience, dive into the universe and do their thing, and hop into their X-wing or shoot the 11 or wield the lightsaber, all that stuff.
Awesome. And this is going to be a game that you are going to play with massive teams, right? Like, this is a lot of people in one battle.
Yeah, so absolutely. I mean, we have our large scale modes, such as Walker Assault, that we've just announced. This is 40 players, 20v20, and we really allow you to do absolutely everything, whether it's infantry combat, whether it's Walker combat, or dogfighting in the sky with X-Wings versus TIE Fighters.
And this is the sort of thing with 20 people on a team, you were showing a lot of, like, you can kind of jump around. You can kind of figure out what you are best at on your team and kind of put yourself in a position that works. Isn't that right? Like, you can kind of do that sort of as you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, we're really happy that we can announce that we have a partner system within our game, which is a great way for partnering up with a buddy. So, you can spawn on that friend anytime you want to get right into the action. But what's even better is you can share unlocks with them. And so what this does is if you're new to Battlefront and your friend's been playing for a while, then you can get them up to speed and right into that action.
Very cool. And if you have played the Battlefront games before, like I love Battlefront and Battlefront 2, what's the same? What did you kind of take from that and go, this is what worked, this is what was great, and what did you add? What's going to be new for players?
I think it's important to note that the Battlefront games and their legacy has greatly inspired us, but that's also 2 generations of consoles ago.
Sure.
So as I said, we're inspired by them, but we're also looking at this with a clean slate and starting afresh and putting our stamp on the series, and that's why it's Battlefront and not Battlefront 3.
Yeah. Very cool. One of the things that I really loved, and we had Mitch Dyer from IGN on the stream earlier, the things that we really enjoy are the little details that happen during a battle in the Battlefront games. Things like droids that are freaking out because they got caught in crossfire and like going back and forth in the environments. And it really looks like you guys are using the Frostbite engine to kind of add in a ton of those little environmental details.
Yeah, we're extremely, we've always been pushing technology at DICE. So that's one of our kind of pillars of what we want this to be. So what better universe to get this detail in than Star Wars? So of course we're pushing the limits of what we can do and the amount of immersion you can create with the Frostbite engine that we're using internally at DICE. Then of course with the talented team, adding all the knowledge and all their love for Star Wars on top of this, it can't go wrong, right?
Absolutely. In addition to Solus, we have seen some other environments, and there are some environments that are going to be added as the game gets released. Can you talk about where we're going to go and where we're going to be?
Do you want to go for it? Yeah, no, absolutely. So we're super excited to announce that our first DLC pack is going to be free to everyone, and it's going to be the Battle of Jakku. And this is super exciting for us because this is the only way that you can play and experience that battle that helps to shape
free
the landscape that
DLC,
you've seen
so
in the episode
good.
7 trailer.
That's so great.
Crazy.
And it's besides Jakku and Solus, any other locations that you can tell us about? Things that will be familiar or unfamiliar to people?
We'll be bringing you to Hoth, we'll be bringing you to Tatooine, and of course to Enter, as well as Solus and Jakku. And what I think fans will be particularly interested in is that you'll see the locations that that remind you and bring you back into the movies.
That's
but we're
crazy.
also expanding on those, taking you to locations that you haven't seen
10
on
years
these
ago.
planets.
That's so cool that you.
Which I think is particularly interesting.
Back
And one
here
of the
for
things
this.
that we love about working on the game
Life, eh?
is that we get to do that.
And in the Battlefront games, there was always a moment where you're surprised because a character you recognize kind of comes into play. Is that kind of stuff going to happen in the new one? Are we going to see these sort of franchise characters appear?
Well, this speaks to what Lena mentioned before and what I said about creating your own fantasy sites. Because yes, you can be on Hoth, you can be on Tatooine and Endor, planets you know and recognize, but you can also, create your own. Basically, we talked about you can jump in with Boba Fett on Hoth, which is previously something you can just, I can imagine it and play it, but now with Battlefront, you can experience it and you can do it yourself.
Very cool. And you said you were coming out. What is the date on it?
November 17th.
November 17th. And platforms, where are we going to be?
PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
That's awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us here on the stage. I'm really, really excited for Battlefront. We've got more coming up from Star Wars Celebration Live 2015, powered by Verizon on StarWars.com.
Crazy.
production manager from Star Wars Rebels. How are you guys doing? Stage with Athena Portillo, line producer of Star Wars Rebels, and Liz Marshall, the production manager from Star Wars Rebels. How are you guys doing today?
Great.
Good. So you told me off stage
Let's
this
get
is
into
your
it.
first celebration.
All
It's
right.
mine too.
Star Wars Rebels season 2. I'm not sure if it's already out or about to come out. So this is where it's at right now. So these two production leads of Rebels, let's see what they got to say. Hey Alex, how you doing? Welcome in. We're having a long show today because there's so many videos from Celebration 2015. So we're up to talking about Rebels. Let's get into it.
What has been your reaction so far?
Very overwhelming. I love the costumes that we're seeing thus far. I was very proud to see 2 Sabines and a Hera walking around. Very proud.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I just love seeing all these people who love the same thing, celebrating it together. There's a really great kind of like positive energy going on, and it's just been really fun.
Now, for those who don't know a lot about the production of Star Wars Rebels, can you tell us a little bit about what it is you do for the show?
Sure. In short, I guess you could say I deal with the budgeting, the scheduling, negotiating of all the seasons.
Oh, so you just organize everybody.
Yes.
Right.
I'm a little more day-to-day. I kind of work with all the various departments and our production staff and keep an eye on things and basically report everything up to Athena so she's aware of what's going on.
Now, season 1 was amazing. You know, we're introduced to these new characters and these new worlds, and it's something that's very different than Clone Wars. You know, what was it like building these these characters from the ground up?
It was amazing.
Being involved
I mean,
with
it was a great experience, especially right in the beginning. It was like me, Athena, a handful of designers, Filoni, a couple of our leads. So it was a really, really tiny core team working on building this world. So it was incredibly exciting, and I think we're so lucky to be a part of it.
Yeah. Very exciting to be able to work on a project that takes place 5 years before A New Hope.
Right.
So being such a Star Wars nerd, that just felt wonderful.
It's such not a fun time, but it's definitely an interesting time in the galaxy. So what would you say was your most favorite moment of working on season 1?
Working with Liz and working with everybody on the crew from Clone Wars. That has been wonderful. Working with Filoni.
Yeah, and a lot of the crew from Clone Wars did carry over, right?
Yes.
So that must be nice to have a lot of familiar faces around.
Yeah, it's like a family reunion. You know, it's just people you've known for years and you know them so well and you've gone through so much together. So it just feels really good to be able to come back together and work on something that is new and exciting.
Makes you want to wake up every day and head into work.
That's awesome. So, you know, one of the biggest things that I'm looking forward to most about this week is tomorrow. You guys have your big panel and the season 2 premiere. What's going through your minds right now?
I'm just so excited for the fans to see everything. Like, I can't wait to see their reactions and hear what they have to say. I think that everyone's going to love it.
I hope everyone feels the same way I did when I saw the trailer for episode 7 yesterday, and being at the panel for The Force Awakens, I actually got emotional and I cried. So I actually hope that everyone feels that way when they watch the trailer for our show as well as the special.
Oh, yeah. Well, because we left off at such an interesting point. There's so much that's going to happen. I feel like fans are really in for, I don't know, a completely different world when season 2 starts up. So that must be really exciting.
Very exciting.
So you've had your chance to go around the celebration floor now, and I mean, it's overwhelming how much awesome fan interaction and how many cool installments we have going on. What would you say is your favorite thing that you've seen so far?
Thanks for joining back up, CG.
Besides the Sabines and the Hera,
Hello,
I
buddy.
did bump into Barris Offee.
I didn't notice that. I saw that you weren't a member.
Into Barris
I was
Offee
like,
like
what?
that. We saw Ventress while we were having
Welcome
lunch.
back.
Oh, cool.
Had a
Master
run-in with
status.
Darth Maul.
Oh, Darth Maul. I love Darth
Oh,
Maul.
the one on the legs?
Yes.
Yeah,
It was extremely impressive.
I
That was
saw
very
him
good.
last night.
Yeah.
He really sells it.
Yes.
He's got that special lightsaber.
Yeah, where it looks like a Sabine too. It's very
Yeah, that
cool.
guy.
Yeah.
Well done, guy.
And last night, coming back to the hotel, we ran into the ice cream maker machine man.
Oh, the
from
the
Cloud
Wilrow
City,
Hoods,
which
yeah.
I was extremely excited about. So that was a real dream.
You know, and that's such a great celebration tradition, the running of the Wilrow Hoods. And it hasn't happened yet. So I'm really excited, you know, keeping my eyes out for the orange jumpsuits coming by.
That's okay. That's okay. I
Have
got
you,
no worries. Thank you so much for
The
still
shopping
being
here is
here.
great too.
Yeah. Have you picked out?
Yes, this is from here.
Oh, you got that today?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
I've barely had a
The
chance
best
to go
part of
shopping, but I went
celebration
over
is the
to
shopping. I can
the official store. And have you
attest to
seen
that.
the awesome Rebels merch that they have? They have that awesome Hera t-shirt. the stormtrooper that when you go out in the sun, he has the Sabine's graffiti on it.
That's so cool.
It's super cool. It only comes in kid sizes.
Very cool.
So
It's great. Until you can squeeze in one.
Well, I think that we are out of time here, so we are gonna head off stage. But Star Wars Celebration Live will continue in just a moment.
That's awkward. What an awkward exit. What an awkward exit. It's so cool. Star Wars Rebels. Coming out. There's so many cool things. Linkin Park's Joe Hahn. Do people want to watch the Joe Hahn interview? Super interesting. John Knoll. I love John Knoll. Try and skip that first.
Magic, thank you so much for joining us here, sir. Taking a couple minutes. Your career at ILM, which is an amazing one, you've had your hands on so many amazing movies, started kind of interestingly. There's something about a medical conference with your dad?
Yeah, about a year after Star Wars came out, so it was in May of 1978. I grew up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, so this is not my home.
Yeah.
My dad had a Society of Nuclear Medicine conference that was actually right here in the Anaheim Convention Center.
That's crazy. What?
And they brought my brothers and I along. So a year after Star Wars came out, age 15, I'd been thinking of that entertainment industry might be a different career path than I had been previously thinking. And in the hotel room, probably about a mile from here, picked up a phone book, and just out of curiosity, I looked to see if Industrial Light and Magic was listed. Sure enough, it was. Found a number.
Wow.
I called. I got a hold of Grant McCune, who was the head of the model shop at the time. And I told him I was a model maker and I was interested in working in the industry. And he said, well, why don't you come on down and we'll show you around. So the next morning, before my dad's first event at the conference, he drove me all the way up to Van Nuys, which, that's a pretty good drive from here. Drove me up, dropped me off, and then came and picked me up at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I spent an entire day at ILM.
You just call up ILM and you're like, hey man, can I come by? And they're like, yeah, sure.
It is a different time.
Yeah, it sounds like your dad just pulls up and gives you a sack lunch and is like, okay, go have fun at ILM.
That's kind of like it. That's what it was. It was a much more casual time then. Lauren Peterson toured me around. Wow. I went to dailies in the morning and saw
they just showed you. They just showed you dailies.
It was fantastic. Yeah, they were working on the original Battlestar Galactica TV show.
Do you know that I heard that a man mysteriously disappeared because he saw one still from the Force Awakens trailer and just disappeared forever? But you were watching dailies. You're just watching dailies back then. It's crazy to think how much it's changed.
Well, yeah, there's quite a climate of people wanting to keep things under wraps, not to have spoilers out there.
Sure.
And in the age of the internet and electronic communication, smartphones in everybody's pocket, it's really a very different situation.
Yeah, yeah. Now, aside from your career in visual effects, you are also the co-creator, along with your brother, of Photoshop.
Yes.
Which is amazing. Did you ever think when you were creating
I don't think I knew that. That's crazy.
This all-in-one design tool? Like, it's almost impossible to do anything digitally without Photoshop now.
Well, we had a lot of confidence in it. We thought that it was going to be this amazing, terrific thing that people were just going to love. I had no idea it was going to get to the scale.
Dude, that's crazy cool.
A verb that
that's sick, Alex.
I would hear references in popular culture.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that looks like that's been Photoshopped. That still is a little startling to hear those
So fascinating. Things. Yeah, I believe it. I got to ask, you have worked on so many different things, so many of my favorite movies. I mean, you were on The Abyss, you were on the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Most recently, you were on, I just blanked because I've been up here for 4.5 hours.
Mission Impossible 4, Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim, thank you. Most recently, you were on Pacific Rim, which I absolutely love. Is there any movie that kind of just holds a special place in your heart? Like, that was the one that was the most fun, or that was the one that I'm the most proud of?
I'm really proud of the work that we did on the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Davy Jones.
Oh my gosh.
I think that turned out really well. I look back at that work and, on most films, you're trying to approximate an image that you have in your head, and you achieve it to different levels of success. I feel like we got 100% of the way there. I look back at that work, and there's nothing that I would change at this point.
Oh, and I just love it because it's so emblematic. The Davy Jones and his crew are so emblematic of sort of this evolution, right? Where
John is the guy that pitched the idea for Rogue One.
It was
Wow.
all kind of more digital for the
Damn,
characters,
Alex,
like
you know
entirely
so much.
digital. But there was this beautiful blending with the crew. That was sort of makeup and costumes and CGI that just is sort of the best of both worlds to me. No, sort of?
Yeah, Bootstrap Bill is a practical makeup, but Davy Jones and all his crew are all CG.
Just all entirely?
Yeah, there's no,
That's
it's all
so
CG.
fascinating to me. What kind of feeling do you get being here at Celebration? And just walking, I mean, there are characters that you worked on here. Everybody, like, people are dressed as them. People are wearing them. People are like, it must be crazy.
Oh yeah, the enthusiasm is fantastic. You know, we have our offices up in San Francisco, and you know, it's a nice, quiet little group, and we all have a good time. But you know, to occasionally see the impact that the work that gets done there has on the rest of the world, the joy that it brings to people, it's energizing and fantastic.
Anything you are particularly looking forward to
he's so
seeing
great. I love
or
him.
experiencing
I
here
love
this
him.
weekend?
Actually, Gareth and Josh are doing an anthology panel on Sunday. I'm going to go watch that, hear the reactions to what they have to say.
Awesome. Yeah, ton of great panels here
That's
this
one
weekend.
not to miss, by the way.
Do not miss that one. John Knoll says not to miss it, and that means you do not miss it. John, thank you so much for coming by.
Certainly.
We really appreciate it.
I just realized that we had skipped the Carrie Fisher highlights panel. My God.
He had that hairstyle, and it took them 2 hours.
Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Oh my God. How did I miss this?
To do that hairstyle. I'd come in at 5 a.m. before anyone. And they would take I would fall asleep in the chair.
Was
and
it
I'd
a
say
braid?
I'd go to sleep plain, and I'd wake up pretty.
Wow.
Pretty weird.
Pretty weird, huh?
Yeah. But it was, I had this Pat McQueen, and she would do my hair for 2 hours.
And you could sleep through it, though.
Well, after a while, you
Yeah.
get used to it.
Yeah, and you wake up with, little mustaches
But
on
then later on, I did, what was it called, Saturday Night Live, and
Yes.
I was playing Princess Leia for
Yes.
weird. They
Catch you later, Brennan.
clunked
Have
a
a good night.
hairpiece on it, looked exactly the same. And I was upset.
Yeah. Two of the biggest stars, really on the planet at the time, Sir Alec Guinness and Peter Cushing. And you get to work with these gentlemen. Pretty great. Was that fun?
I love
Do you
how Gary's
I know
up
that
there.
you talked with Peter quite a bit, and he had
R.I.P.
great little stories.
He was probably in his 80s. I don't know. Probably was 50.
People looked older then.
And he smelled of lavender.
Really?
And he was very royal.
Charmed.
Well, they were all Sir this and Lady
Yeah.
that.
And so would you say Sir
Well, I'm
Alec?
Princess something,
Yeah,
so I
so
don't
it's-
really have to.
You don't have to.
Acknowledge.
That's so good.
No, it made me very nervous.
Now, let me ask you, though, with Empire Strikes Back, you come around the second time, this explosion of this
Yeah,
film.
yeah. Gary
Were things
Fisher only passed
different?
away
Did
last
it,
week.
Did it
Was it last
seem
week?
different on the set instantly, or was it
Scary.
like, no, we're all back together having fun?
No, it was. What's cool about it is, and I don't know how soon I knew it was cool, but when you make a movie, you don't know if it's going to do well, or you hope it does. Depending on the script, it won't. Whatever. But I knew the first one was going to be something that I really liked, but I did think it was unusual. But on the second one, you knew you were making a hit movie. Yeah. And that is unprecedented. So I suppose that's what we were doing again on this. I mean, if you all go to see it, it's a hit. So, you know what I mean, though?
That's
That
so
it's
cool.
not usual.
I wish he was
So-
more involved in the
It was,
sequel.
and then Irvin
tiptoe
Kershner.
more.
Irvin Kershner directing it. Was that fun working with Irvin Kershner?
He was awesome.
Yeah.
And he was much more sort of an emotional director than,
So it was a completely different experience then, because you have this director that is going to you with all this stuff, and George was very kind of hands off. Is that correct?
Well, he was more kind of a subdued personality. Like this.
Yeah.
No, but it was, there's
Yeah.
a saying.
Gary Fisher is
a
the
beautiful
dog.
saying. the
therapy dog
fish
down there.
stinks from the head.
Ah, yes.
And
Who
the
was it that said that?
director
Was it
is
Socrates?
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare said.
But it's the director that sort of runs the
show.
So
And if you're comfortable, and you look comfortable with Kirsch, although where is Kirsch looking right there?
I'll tell you later.
Princess Leia. He's looking at the braid.
No, but we did have a really good time on it.
did.
But it went way, way over, and
Oh, yeah.
there was uncomfortable stuff. No, on the third one, people broke their legs, and it was
Really?
always different.
But fun. And then Billy D into the mix in the second one, too. Was it fun working with Billy D? He'll be here Sunday. He'll be here on the stage.
Yes, he was funny, and he used to, right before he would kiss my hand
Yeah,
or something, he'd say something incredibly filthy. So that I would, laugh. Something about
That's
the
so
Force
good.
and it being with me or whatever.
In Jedi,
my
though,
days.
you helped save the day. You killed a giant slug. You got the guy. You find out you got a brother. Did it feel like a good ending to this whole Star Wars trilogy at the time? Did you feel like, okay, I can end these movies now with Jedi, with Return of the Jedi?
I wasn't in that mood of like, okay, this is it. I am sick of this now.
Well, no, not like you're sick of it, but like, yes, we accomplished, we rounded the story
Been
off.
there,
and-
done that.
No, like it was a good happy ending. Did you like how that all kind of came together?
I don't like endings
You
of
don't?
fun.
Really?
Not of fun.
No, not a fun.
And
So
it was
all
fun. It was a lot of fun.
Full title was
Oh, I wish we could watch the whole thing of that, dude. Oh. Maybe we can. Maybe that's for another time. That's crazy. There's so many interesting interviews here. Kevin Kiner interview. Dude, this stream is just going to go forever. We're never going to stop this stream. We're almost at 2 hours. I totally agree, Lightning. I totally agree. Did I skip this one too? All right. Interview with Kevin Kiner, composed of Clone Wars, Rebels, Ahsoka. Legend.
Star Wars has some of the most iconic music in history. How do you approach scoring something like Rebels when there's so much, music history already ingrained in the saga?
Well, we rely on quite a few of the original themes that John laid out in the movies, but then we had to take it farther, and we have some new themes that I composed for the Rebels themselves and for the show, and it's it's a challenge. The music gets a lot of attention in Star Wars,
Yeah, it really
and
does.
it's there's some big shoes to fill, but it's a joy to be working on Star Wars. It really is.
What would you say is the most rewarding part about working on the animated series?
Well, I think now that we're doing Rebels, we're starting to go back to music that sounds more like the original.
I'm mute. Hold up. Can we just appreciate the stormtrooper with the top hat back there? What on earth? I love it. Trooper with a top hat. I didn't think I needed to see that, but I absolutely did. I love it. And I totally agree. Mikey in the chat, I loved Andy. She was such a great host. I loved her. Loved. I wonder what she's doing now.
Yeah, like the trilogy did. And that's been really rewarding for me because I've made kind of a career of, studying that sound and being able to execute that orchestra. And that's just, it's really, I love doing music. That's why it's my job. So it's kind of a dream job.
And you're really good at it.
Thank you.
So I monitor the social for Star Wars, and I see people complimenting the music all the time. I mean, they absolutely rave about Rebels soundtrack. What has the fan reaction been like to you? What have you seen?
Yeah, it's very positive. I think it's because, I hope it's because I'm a fan first and foremost. And when you're a fan, you want to do right by whatever it is you're working on, and there's some good history, and I don't want my ego to get in the way of that history. So for me, there's a sound that Star Wars has, and I try to stay true to that.
What other influences do you have when you're creating music for Rebels?
Well, I think I have the same influences that John Williams has in that, Stravinsky, Rimsky-Korsakov, Korngold, all the great classical composers. and many times I'll go and listen to that, and there'll be just a lick, maybe a flute lick or a trumpet lick or something like that. I can use that for canon or something, and it happens very often.
Now, I've picked up, and I know the fans have picked up on it too, little tastes of other films.
I don't
that we
think so.
found in-
I think we
in,
still got that
Rebels. I
coming.
know there was one sequence where you kind of played with Raiders of the Lost Ark a little bit.
Yeah.
Are there any other Easter eggs that we should be listening for?
Yeah, definitely there was the Raiders thing because and that was kind of a direction that we got. It was kind of an adventurous
Daisy. Hi?
scene.
Hi? Hi.
So we're just doing something in season 2 where we reference the Jaws soundtrack. I'll say I can't really say what the scene is because
Yeah, the
it's
top hat
coming up,
stormtrooper back there
but
is
it works very well.
We'll be watching.
Yeah.
How long does it take for you typically to score an episode?
It takes me about 2 weeks, maybe sometimes
wow.
less, but usually it's about 2 weeks.
And is that about the same as it was for the Clone Wars? What are the differences between Clone Wars and Rebels now?
Well, then in the Clone Wars, we were trying to bring in a lot of ethnic percussion, ethnic vocals, ethnic flutes, different things like that. We're not doing that in Rebels. We're going back to the trilogy. But in terms of my writing process, it's still, I'm writing for an orchestra, and I'm still writing Star Wars music.
Now, you just mentioned you were writing for an orchestra. Have you worked with a full orchestra for any of the episodes?
Sure.
Yeah.
The last episode of season 1 we recorded in Prague, and we've recorded. Coming up, we will probably go to Budapest or somewhere like that.
Very cool.
So and we have live guys on every episode. I mean, there's always live players.
That's fantastic. I mean, and you've done such an amazing job capturing not only the sound but the feel of the original trilogy. I mean, when you listen to this soundtrack, you really, feel like you're in Star Wars. And a lot of fans have been asking if we're going to be able to have the soundtrack at any point. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know anything for sure, but I think the fans should keep asking.
Me too.
And I'll keep asking.
I think they should keep asking too. So
Yeah.
Thank you for coming by, guys. Kevin Kiner, Star Wars Rebels. Make sure you watch it. You'll be at the premiere tonight, and it's going to be amazing. But Star Wars Celebration Live 2015.
James Arnold Taylor here. Hey, StarWars.com. We were at Celebration Anaheim, and we just had a fantastic show, a show-stopping show, the show to end all shows at Star Wars Celebration with the one and only Carrie Fisher. Carrie, how are you, my dear?
I'm good.
Thank you.
I mute again. I keep muting myself and forgetting. I was laughing so hard at Carrie's reaction there. What a legend. What a legend. This is so good. More Carrie
Thank you
content.
for being out there. Thank you for being
Oh,
such a great sport.
thank you for allowing me to make sport of you.
Always. How has your celebration experience been outside of our fantastic time together?
There's nothing else besides our
There's really,
fantastic
right? This
time
is all we're
together.
going to do from now.
I'm so into this that I want to take
The
it back to
chair.
the
Do
autograph
you want to
area.
take it? Maybe, I will
But
just
look, wouldn't
the
this
other
make
way.
a good chair
This-
thing? And
this
this would
is-
make a good coffee. I think there should be a Star Wars.
Because what do you have out there?
Interior
Just like a
decoration.
small chair and stuff. So I will look the other way. and maybe
Yes.
Gary can help move the chair. And you
He's
can have it.
exhausted. He's very upset with you. He was upset when the guy came up on the.
Well, yeah, that was a little personal, up close and personal. So, okay, but getting back to the question, they do want to know.
She's so
When did
good.
you realize that Leia
She
meant
reminds me
that
so
much?
much of my mum.
Recently,
Really?
not like that. I really didn't know, and I'm kind of glad I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. I knew I react to things incorrectly, maybe. No, I mean just differently.
Yeah.
I looked at that costume when he showed it to me, and I thought, A, he's joking. B, how am I going to look in that? I have to make myself look better to be able to wear that. And then I got preoccupied with that, never thinking it was, that would have been, how does one think like that?
Right. No, you can't. So, but to know that now it has such an impact on people.
The worst thing about it, though, is they have these sites where they take people that were, what is that called? When you're centerfold.
She's so chaotic. She's so chaotic.
Centerfold.
Nothing to do with sex.
No.
Except when you're alone. And so they did all these people that
She's so
had
chaotic.
iconic bathing suits, and I'm there with like
you make the
Raquel
cut?
Welch,
Yeah.
my peer,
Yes.
and Bridget Bardot, also someone I identify with strongly.
Sure.
That crowd.
There you were.
And that, I didn't like that because you
Really?
have to live up to something there, and I forget what it is, but it wasn't something I was really focused on in that way.
Right. But you still got it, and they all still react to it, and it's people.
They
love this
are
character.
paid to.
No,
It comes from their childhood though. Worse, it comes from their adolescence.
So, but what makes her still so relevant all these years later, though? This character. Do you think this? Do you hold that
Because
strong
something
woman?
like that, someone
not
that
just the
makes an
bikini.
impact on you at that time in your life is a profound thing.
Yes,
I
it
mean,
is.
it was anyone that I got sort of focused on as a kid, then it would remain that way.
But it was a strong character too. It was a strong woman
I
character.
think I can really understand it for women, and I think I can, having seen that thing with Ross, I can understand it for men because it's them being able to dominate a strong woman who also happens to be wearing something, revealing.
Or perhaps be dominated. Yes,
what
but
a handy combo.
and what is it?
Oh my
what does it mean
days.
now to
This
come
is
back
so-
and play her
what a
again
wild-
in the films without giving anything away? Is it fun to get back into that
Where
particular
did I
role?
go? I'm back.
It's intimidating or
Is it really?
daunting or something
Oh.
initially.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because there's like pressure on it.
Yeah.
Why would you think you could just, hey, gang?
Right. Stroll back in and just expect everything to just be the same. But was it fun too?
Yes, ultimately, yeah. Then once I got over that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you are wowing them all here, and we are thrilled to have you. And I thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank
She's so chaotic. I love her. So good. So good. We're coming up to a 2-hour show. Let's jump into the Mark Hamill panel highlights. This will be good.
I have questions about TFA, as we're calling it right now, that are safe questions. Safe questions, okay? Nothing that will get any of us in trouble.
The Force Awakens. I see.
Force
I
Awakens,
didn't even know what he's
TFA.
talking about. That's the shortened title.
That's the shortened. That's your little
The original
hashtag.
full title was The Force Awakens in a Kansas farmhouse, only to discover it was all a dream.
That's a little long. That's harder to get in that scroll and everything.
No, when I read the title, first of all, I said, is this real? You have to, confirm that it's actually true, because I heard about it like you did on the internet. And
really? Is that right?
Yeah. But I went to the website to make sure it was really the title, and that joke occurred to me, and so I tweeted it out, and I said, "Oh, I hope I got to that joke first."
I think you did, actually. I remember that tweet. But so now on Thursday, we all saw it. Had you seen it, like the night before? Carrie had mentioned that she saw it the night before. Was that how it
Well,
worked?
we asked, and I was cleared to tell you that last week I went into Bad Robot and recorded the voiceover. Now, what I said to JJ, because the voiceover that I did in the teaser, it's called. I said that it's pulled dialogue, I think, from Jedi,
Return of the Jedi.
But I re-recorded it, and I said, which did you use? Because I couldn't really tell. He said, he's like George. He loves to play in his little, tinker around and play with things. He said, oh, I used both. We used the original track, and then we used the what you recorded last week as reverb, because there's a slight delay. So the delay is the new lines are recorded. And the recording session was interesting because
Bro, what a comment.
They should have printed the
Holy
outtakes
shit.
of that, because it was, the Force is strong in my family. I have it. My father has it.
I was going to ask you about that.
I mean, has it. My sister has it. My certified public accountant has it. That weird guy down the street that smells funny has it. That one-eyed raccoon that keeps getting into the trash cans has it. And you
Dude, why
have
are they
that
all so
power, too.
chaotic and random?
Tell us about how you were first approached about doing the film. Did you get a phone call Like Carrie got a phone call and
no, what happened was we were at some Star Wars event that George was at, and George Lucas asked us through his people to have lunch with him. And so I'm saying to Mary Lou, I said, what do you think of George? I mean, because if George asked you to lunch, there's something big going on. And I remember she said, maybe he's going to do another trilogy. And I laughed at her. Because George had told me specifically he wasn't doing anything after the prequels. He said, no, I don't want to be doing these things in my 70s. And I said, no, I could get that. But I thought, well, even if they do another trilogy, it'll be about another generation. It won't. And I had a beginning, a middle, and end. My story was finished. And so I said to her, I laughed. I said, oh, he told it for 20 or whatever long it was, for years and years and years. He's not going to do another trilogy. I said, you know what's happening is they're doing these things in 3D. He's probably going to ask us to do press for that.
Sure.
So no, anyway, so he said, let's have lunch. And when we went to have lunch, I knew something was really special because he disinvited my daughter, Chelsea. He said, Chelsea can go have lunch with my daughter. And it's just going to be Carrie and my wife and George. And that's all. And so, and you know how George, he's just so, basically, I'm moving on, and I'm going to be leaving Lucasfilm, and Kathy Kennedy's going to be taking over. And
where do I keep going?
We're thinking we're going to do another trilogy, and he said, and if you don't,
what is happening?
We won't recast. We'll write you out of it. And so, like, I'm keeping this poker face, but inside I'm going, why? Because I'm going, That's how I knew I was a good actor, because on the outside I was completely placid.
Wow, that's so cool.
Carrie went, I'm in.
Oh, I love them. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. This is so cool.
And within five seconds, she goes, is there a part for Billy in it? That's your daughter.
Oh.
And so I'm thinking, like, I'll take it under consideration. But the truth of the matter is, I was in a state of shock. And I thought.
That's so crazy. Also, where was that crowd shot? Words, where are you? Can you see you? And Mikey was there as well. Where are you? Where are you in this picture? You on the floor? Or were you up in like the seats? So funny. Oh, up in the seats. Yeah, up in the second deck.
Within 5 seconds, she goes, is there a part for Billy in it? That's your daughter. I would have all of you surrounding my house like villagers in a Frankenstein picture.
Well, what about now? Are you in this? Are you in the shot? Mikey, where are you? Let's find you. Let's find you. Do you remember what bay you were in? Or is it one above that? Is there another? Was there another tier? Were you in this one? Where were you, Mikey? Oh boy. There's another level. Oh, dude. Okay. I don't know if they'll do a shot of that. Come on. Words 789. Where were you, man?
See? Angry villagers with lightsabers instead of torches,
How did it feel to be back on a practical working Star Wars set,
Well, see, now here's the thing that I love is that this film is the first of the Star Wars films that's actually in the hands of someone who grew out of fandom, see? Yeah. So he feels the way you feel in terms of wanting practical effects, real sets,
Yeah. And he being J.J. Abrams, how was it working with him then? Was this the first time you two had worked together?
Yeah. And well, he's just really, I was a little suspicious. I said, wait a minute, is it that Star Trek guy? And listen, I like Star Trek. I mean, I'm friends with Brent Spiner, and there's no rivalry whatsoever. But I thought it just seems odd, and not that I was predisposed to dislike him. I was just sort of cautious about it. But he's really a personable guy. He's really easy to talk to. He's very
Again, this is
inclusive
making
in
me
terms
think
of
what
listening to your
happened if
ideas.
JJ
and,
made all 3
instead of being
sequels.
adamant, it's got to be this way. So I mean, he's lovable. I mean, what can I say?
Most fond memory about making A New Hope?
Well, it was just all so new to me. I'd never been. I did go to high school in Japan because my father was in the Navy, but I'd never been to England. I'd never been to North Africa to work with Sir Alec Guinness. I mean, when I met him, I thought if I try and speak, yeah.
Does that still kind of get you looking at that? Is that?
Oh my gosh, he was just. I mean, he was everything you wanted to be. He was just the most wonderful grandfather. He was so wise and so great. He asked me out to lunch so we could get to know each other before we went to Africa. And of course, at lunch, I mean, like I said, I got all choked up. Like if I open my mouth, I'm gonna cry like a little girl or something. I got all choked up. And, I was wanting to talk about the Lavender Hill Mob and the Lady Killers and the Horse's Mouth and Bridge on the River Kwai and all these things. No. I want to talk about your career. And I go, really? You want to hear about a dog food commercial and a soap opera? Come on. And I kept calling him Sir Alec. Sir Alec. He said, and one time when I said Sir Alec, he reached out and he went, oh, tap, tap. Slap. And I went, what? And he said, I want to be known by my name, not my accolade. I said, oh, really? You want to? How
He
would I
does
call
such a
you,
good
Big Al?
impression of him.
And then we move to Empire Strikes Back, and it becomes a whole new world. When you think of that film, is there anything that comes to mind right off the bat that you just think of, fun or excitement, or what is it?
One word, Yoda. See, now I read this script, and you have to understand the script really conveyed what the movie was going to be like, even without the special effects.
Where do I go?
There, the suspense was there, the excitement, even in all the descriptions. And when I read that scene, where I think of him as just like like a frog man or something. I get off my stuff. I'm looking for a great Jedi Master, and the whole idea that it could be, so unexpected that he would be what he was.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I was wondering how they were going to do it. They talked about crazy things like having a monkey in a mask or whatever. Seriously, they did some crazy.
Imagine if Yoda was played by a monkey in a mask. That's hilarious.
When Frank Stuart Freeborn made the puppet, which resembles him quite honestly. Yeah, and.
Did he mold it after himself purposely, or did that just happen as an artist?
Well, see, he didn't even think it was unintentional.
It was unintentional. It just happened.
That's what he said. But what I have to tell you is when Frank put that puppet on his hand, because they asked me to come in on the weekend and work on a Saturday and a Sunday before we started filming. And the minute he started, many years have I, and I was just transfixed. I believed in it so wholeheartedly, masterful acting on the part of Frank Oz.
Yes.
Well, there he is.
What did you think about that final meeting and doing those scenes with the all-powerful Emperor Ian McDiarmid? We had him here on the first night, and.
Well, when I would come in, I'd have like a 7 a.m. call to be ready on set at 8. And by the time I got there, Ian had been there for hours getting made up. And I realized after a certain amount of time, I said, if we don't have Ian out to the house or see him, outside shooting, I'm never going to know what he looks like. Because when the shooting day was over, I'd jump in the shower and just wash my makeup off and I'd be out of there in half an hour. It took another hour and a half to get him out of that stuff.
Oh, my word.
See? So Mary Lou and I had him out to the house, for a Sunday brunch, and up the steps walks this guy that he was, with red hair. I don't know.
You brought a picture, actually.
Okay.
You were kind enough to bring a picture. Do we have that picture of all of you together there? Let's look. There he is.
Yeah,
isn't
wow.
that amazing?
And that's Dennis Lawson, who's Wedge, and Ian. Now remember, from the movie, he's all sort of old and crotchety.
Yeah.
And there he is. What a shock.
We're talking about 30-something years ago.
Yeah, was it?
Unreal. Again, the camera is corked, brother. Where do I keep going? There, my friends, I think we'll start to wrap up for the day. I know there's more videos in this massive slew of all the content from 2015 Celebration, but we're going to be wrapping it up there for today. It's been an incredibly long show, but this has been absolutely fantastic. Again, this is going to be a long line of live shows that we're going to be looking back at the past celebrations each and every week on the road to Star Wars Celebration Japan. Very, very exciting. Thank you so much for all of you for tuning in. Mikey, Words, Numa, Stanley's, Daisy, Lightning, who else? Alex and Brady, Nolan. So many people, so many legends in the chat. Thank you for being here. What a good time. What a fun time. So many of you tuning in for over a 2-hour show. How flamin' good. Thank you so much for tuning in and sticking around tonight. I'll catch you tomorrow night for the Sith side. Tony is back from MegaCon, so we'll be breaking down all the news and excitement that was at MegaCon, so that'll be tomorrow night. So I'll catch you then, my friends. Thank you so much. I'll catch you real soon, and make sure you always choose the RaeSide.